On today's Pardon My Take, we have a massive show for the people.
How many?
We have 4 guests, 3 interviews, never been done. We have Christian Horner in person. We have Max and Checo in person together. And then, of course, one of our favorite interviews every single year, Randy Moss talking Kentucky Derby, getting you ready for some Kentucky Derby action and the Oaks, which are happening today. So he gives you a pick for that as well. We're in Miami for F1. It's going to be a great weekend. And guess what? This episode of Pardon My Take with limited ads is brought to you by Duracell. Not only is Duracell the battery that helps power Williams Racing, they are the battery that is literally behind Logan Sargent, the only and first American on the grid since 2015. The F2 Rookie of the Year is back on his home turf of Florida and is looking to continue his bid for another Rookie of the Year award as he and his teammate Alex Albon hit the streets of South Beach in this weekend's Miami Grand Prix. Duracell is engineered for more and a proud partner and supporter of Logan and Williams Racing. We love Duracell. We love Duracell batteries. I use them so much because I got kids who rip through batteries. Duracell's making sure that they have a takeover of this episode. So limited ads for the people. That's from Duracell. So if you love this episode, if you love this podcast, go to Duracell.com right now to learn more and make sure you buy your batteries with Duracell. We are a Duracell podcast now. That is the battery of choice for Pardon My Take. So thank you again to Duracell and Duracell.com. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Friday, May 5th, and the Golden State Warriors are back.
The LA Lakers are dead.
Dead.
No, this was a can't lose for the Warriors.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the can't lose, must win dynamic, but it was a Klay Thompson game. We got a Klay game. I have a fun stat for you, Big Cat, because I looked it up. Klay Thompson, when he scores 30 or more points, what do you think Golden State Warriors record?
Ooh.
31-6.
That's very disrespectful to Klay Thompson.
I was going to say playoffs or just right.
I think it's both. I think it's both. I typed it into Google, and the first result that came out,
45-4.
64-10.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a fake stat because it also probably implies that Steph Curry put in a lot of points too, because there are a lot of games I'm sure where Steph Curry scores 30 or more. Klay doesn't, and they don't win as many of those games. But Klay is the key. If he has a good game, and he went 8 for 11
Yes.
from 3 tonight.
Yes.
They win when Klay Thompson scores. When he's the perfect amount of high for a game, when he takes his edible and times it out perfectly before the game, and he goes off, the Warriors win those games.
Well, and it was also very clear what the Lakers were trying to do tonight was basically not let Steph Curry shoot, and Steph Curry's good at passing. So, like, they were putting 2 guys on him, giving him no space, and he was just dropping dimes all across the court. Why Klay also was open, hit threes. The Warriors are, when they get to this level, when other guys are hitting shots and Steph doesn't have to score 35, 40, they are very, very scary. And Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Great game from him. An assist shy of a triple-double. And maybe this is just the Lakers because it does feel like you had LeBron first half go like full old school LeBron. I think he had like 21 points or something at halftime. He was on fire. And Anthony Davis, we said this on Wednesday's show, it does feel like as Anthony Davis goes, the Lakers go, he is going to be, if he has an exceptional game, the Lakers are very, very hard to beat. He did not have an exceptional game tonight. So he had 4 turnovers. He only had 11 points. It feels like this is going to be a 7-game series. I'm very, very excited. Now, the question, PFT, I actually don't think the Lakers have to win game 3.
it's not really a desperation spot for them because they're so good. I
Right.
mean, they've got 2 players on the team that could be the MVP
Right.
if they play up to the level that they want to play at.
They have championship medal.
Yeah, exactly. They're a great team, and you can't panic if you're in that. If you take yourself seriously as being a title contender, you can't make game 3 of a series. It's a 7-game series. It's best of 7. You have to win 4 games.
Right.
Going down 2-1, it happens.
Right.
It happens, and the great teams are able to bounce back.
Right. Max just took off his headphones. We're going to talk Sixers Celtics in a minute. He's mad because we've told him that the Sixers must win game 3.
It's different.
It's very different.
It's a
The
completely
Lakers have
different
been
scenario.
there. They've
East
done
Coast,
it.
West Coast.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
LeBron's done it, and AD's done it. Like
Mhm.
they got guys like Austin Reeves. The Sixers don't have an Austin Reeves.
No, they don't.
So they're fine.
It's interesting that you brought up Draymond's game tonight because we've laughed at Draymond's antics as we will continue to do in the future. But I feel like Draymond is kind of what Ben Simmons was a couple years ago in that if there wasn't a basket on the court, Draymond might be the best player on the basketball court.
Yeah, but he was making some jumpers tonight too.
He does everything. Everything that he does is done with like such a high level of intensity that even he must be insane to go up against when he's playing defense on you because he feels like he's fouling you when he's just playing very hard defense. And he had a couple strips on Anthony Davis tonight where Davis he looked around and he was like, "There's nothing I can do about that." He'll just get around you and slap the ball out of your head.
And it's also it's a very good, like, you can spot the casual when people are like Draymond's completely washed up because not only defensively, but their offense, like the amount of times where he'll get the ball at the 3-point line and run their offense through him and he'll have an assist or he'll find someone. Like he is a very big part of their offense, even when he's not scoring. Tonight he was scoring. So the Warriors, I expected this answer from the Warriors. We saw the stat last night. It's 15 in a row now. No, 16 in a row, I believe, where if the home team loses game 1, they win game 2.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of these NBA playoff series and NHL, but like it's the desperation. When you get into desperation mode, when your home team down 0-1, you need to win game 2, and you see it. Like the teams just come out and give their best performance. This was the best performance from the Warriors today. Now, I don't know. I think I can't decide who's going to win this series because I do still think the Lakers, when AD is on, pose some significant issues for the Warriors. I guess, yeah, it's going to be a great series. I think it's going 7. I really do.
Well, we talked last time about how the Warriors, when they're not big enough to beat the Lakers.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when they shoot like this. When either Clay or Steph goes nuclear, I don't think that there's anything that you can do to beat this Warriors team.
No, and they went, they were 52.5% from 3 today. 21 for 40.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty damn
It's
good.
really good.
That's pretty damn good. Okay. A couple other things before we get to Sixers Celtics. I have a pre-Fyre Fest. Fyre Fest I just found out. We're in the hotel in Miami. We're
Time
all
traveling.
We're what? Yeah, we're time traveling. We were watching the game. Memes was on the bed editing. I was laying next to him on the bed. Kind of cute. I looked over and I saw a picture of myself, and I was wearing Spanx today. Video. Well, it was
Motion
still,
picture.
yeah.
Why do you always say that? Why do you always correct us when we say that there's a picture of us that looks fat and you're like, actually, it's a video? It's a habit that you have.
Well, what were you watching? Was it?
It was actually a still
footage.
picture.
I'm just
It was a
wondering.
still
I'm just
picture.
wondering why it's important to you.
Because he wants to let everyone know that it's not a bad picture. It's real life.
Okay, got it.
That's what he's trying to
Got
say.
it.
No, I'm
It's
just-
not a bad
It's
angle.
like,
schmangle,
yeah, it's not a bad angle. You just are fat. And I know I'm fat, but I was wearing Spanx today thinking I'd protect myself. And I was also leaning forward, and it looks like I have a full pillow underneath my shirt. So if you're watching on YouTube right now,
It's not
and
bad
you
right
comment, yeah, it's not right. I need to never not wear black shirts. Black shirts for life. That's it. But if you comment that I look fat, I already beat you to it. You're a pervert and a sicko.
Actually, you're unoriginal because
Yeah.
Big Cat already said
I already
it.
said it. I'm
Yeah.
fat, and I look really fat.
If anybody says it, just everybody let them know, like, hey, this joke is kind of played out now.
Yeah, and it doesn't
Agreed.
It doesn't help that Max and Checo are both like 140 pounds,
Mhm.
but I'm just that much more of a man than them.
That's true.
So what are you gonna do?
Checo I towered over him. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It's very rare that I get to.
very good guys. Very good interview. The other last thing we had to talk about, which we forgot to talk about, Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah.
So we have to wait and see?
I
think we have to disavow.
I want to say something very clear. I'm anti-sexual assault.
I'm disavowing.
If you guys are going to cancel me for being anti-sexual assault, that's fine. I'm willing to die on that hill.
Yeah, I am disavowing Jackson Mahomes. I'm not disavowing Patrick Mahomes or the Mahomes family, just that particular piece.
Could we say
for right now?
Hopefully he learns from his mistakes.
Yes, but also that was
disavow.
a mistake that we disavow.
Also disavow.
We're anti-Nazi, anti-sexual assault,
anti-Los Angeles C words,
anti-Los Angeles C words, anti-calling me fat,
Anti-lottery ball.
No. Pro
You're
lottery
anti-lottery ball because you can't get it. Anything else that we're anti? Oh, Max is anti-dog.
Yep. You're anti-dog. No, you're anti-dog.
I hope that mic wasn't
So-
on. I don't think his mic was
that
on.
mic's not
There's
even
no
on.
mic was
No.
on.
No,
He
he
said
didn't
fake-
turn
No,
on that
it's
mic.
too late. There's no way.
He said it's fake
There's
news.
no way. Nope.
But Max's defense is he doesn't hate dogs. And after we did this conversation with Max earlier, I told him, Max, it's not so much that you hate dogs, is that you don't love dogs, and that's almost worse. That's
Bullshit.
worse.
I hate
That
every single
you don't love
person in
dogs.
this room.
Okay, all right.
I do love dogs.
Max, why don't you turn off your mic because we're going to kick it to ourselves. We'll get into it. We're going to get into the dog issue.
No.
Yeah, no, we are. We already, unfortunately, we already taped that portion of the show. So yes, we are going to get into
I'll
it.
edit it out.
but just to put a bow on everything, Big Cat, the Los Angeles Lakers, it's not a must win for them next game, right?
Correct,
I just want to make that clear. Okay.
Oh, last thing. Leafs are in big time trouble.
Yeah, they're fucked.
They're big
They're
time
fucked.
trouble.
I mean, game 3 is a must win for the league.
Yes, I would say so. And if that, game 4 will definitely be a must win.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Leafs are in big time trouble. It was nice that they won a series, but they look
They won the first 5 minutes of this game
Yeah.
handily.
Yeah,
Well,
and
2-0, most dangerous lead in hockey.
that's very true. Hank, are you rooting for the Panthers to win the cup? Because I think that would lessen the blow a little bit. If you lose to the champion, it makes it a slightly less choke. Still a choke, but a slightly less choke.
Yes. But I'm rooting for, I think I'm rooting for the Oilers. I'm rooting for the Oilers. Yeah, Jake. I hope it's Panthers Oilers and the Oilers win.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just
Connor McDavid.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I think I'm rooting for
Late
the
night
Kraken.
games.
Yeah. Late night games.
Kraken though.
Hanging out.
No one
Kraken's fun.
cares out there.
Yeah. Okay.
You hate Seattle
You
so
hate
much.
Seattle. You despise Seattle.
No, I love Seattle.
Yeah, no, you
I just
despise
wish
Seattle.
they had some sports fans out there.
Max wants to talk again. He turned his mic on finally.
No, I was just gonna wait till you finish, and I was just gonna talk about how much I love dogs.
Yeah, but that's not true.
No, it is. I love
Okay.
dogs so much.
I thought you were allergic.
No, I'm slightly allergic to some dogs. I wasn't allergic to Brody.
Are you
at
actually
halftime yesterday,
when
which there was no cameras rolling.
when you say you're allergic, do you mean you sneeze, or you're allergic I can't be around them because I don't like them?
No, I sneeze. With some dogs, I sneeze.
Sounds like you don't. Sounds like your body is repulsed by dogs.
That was horrible.
That's a
for-
fact. No,
No.
your body can't handle dogs.
No, I love dogs.
Everyone
I love
knows that
dogs. I
allergies
love
are
dogs.
not something. Allergies are things people can control.
I
right?
can control that. I love dogs, and I'm done with you.
Okay.
If you say I'm allergic to some dogs, that to me sounds like a pre-excuse if you just don't want to feel like hanging
You're
out
like,
around a dog.
my nose tickles.
Yeah, I'd like to come over and scratch your dog's chin, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, some of the times I break out in hives.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, when we started Stella Blue, Max was like, "Do we really have to give money to the dogs?"
Shut up. Shut up.
I mean, he probably has a Michael Vick jersey.
He definitely has a Phillies.
I
Eagles
do
Michael
not
Vick.
have a Michael Vick
Did
jersey.
you
but
ever
I
cheer
do
for
love
Michael Vick?
I loved Michael
Yeah,
Vick.
okay, there we
He's
go.
a great
Also,
Eagle.
The jury rests
And
his case.
I'm
He did
anti-dog
his
killing
time.
on the show.
Yeah, me too. All right, so we're gonna kick it to ourselves. We've got some great interviews coming up. Shout out Duracell one more time. Duracell, thank you for sponsoring this entire show. Limited ads, and we're gonna root for Logan Sargent on Sunday.
And
He's an American racer.
Yes, facts. And we filmed at Dave's house last night, so we'll have a supercut of Max not petting the dog
Yes.
in the vlog next Thursday.
Okay.
It's just the
perfect.
entire video.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And an interview with Logan Sargent.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's kick it to ourselves for the rest of the show. Okay. Before we talk some more basketball, quick word from a wonderful sponsor, Duracell. They've taken over the entire episode. As Americans, it is our job to get behind our country's sports teams from the World Cup to the Olympics. We get behind our American athletes, and why would F1 be any different? This weekend is the first of 3 home races for Logan Sargent, where he looks to make his mark on the race schedule. For all American F1 fans in Miami, the Florida native worked his way through the racing circuits from karting, F3, F2, and now on the big stage, fighting for the Constructors' Championship with Williams Racing. You see PFT wearing it. I'm wearing a hat. We are Williams Racing fans now.
Yeah.
Officially.
So we're Sargent's Privates.
Yes.
That's the fan name
Yes.
that we just came up with right now.
We're ready to go. Logan and Williams are supported by Duracell, the #1 most trusted battery brand. I'm a Duracell fan myself. I rip through batteries with my kids. Duracell, learn more at Duracell.com. And make sure you watch F1 Grand Prix, Miami, Sunday. Logan Sargent, America's boy, trying to fight for the Constructors' Championship. So thank you again to Duracell. Thank you to Williams Racing. Learn more at Duracell.com. Quick, before we get to Sixers Celtics, how cool was Logan Sargent? I came to Miami a little later than you guys. You guys hung out with him.
Very cool guy.
Yes.
Very cool
Vlog
guy.
coming out next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look for that. He coached us up on the racing simulator. Really good dude. Also AWL.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be watching the race, rooting for him, specifically him, on Sunday.
He said he's shooting for Q1.
Let's
so
go.
Q1, that's the goal. It was always Q1.
It was always Q1. Logan Sargent, my new favorite racer. That's a fact. Everyone, if you're an American, you need to be rooting for Logan Sargent.
Yep.
That's just a fact.
Fact.
Okay. Celtics Sixers, game 2.
Oh man, Hank is already serving looks.
Don't want to say you told you so, but I told you so. Max, you got absolutely demolished. Your shit pushed in, your teeth kicked in, dog walked off the floor.
Didn't even pet a dog.
Didn't even pet a
bullshit.
dog.
That was bad.
No,
that dog wanted you to love it, and you just looked away.
That was
like it was chopped
that was like a
liver.
Kobe angle thing of like I couldn't
what?
see
Whoa,
that
Too soon.
no
Kobe.
angle like the Kobe
Angle?
a Kobe
Are
angle.
you talking about the TMZ pictures, Max? The fuck?
when Kobe doesn't flinch when the ball's like coming at his face
Matt
from
Barnes?
the one angle.
So you say Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
Use some context.
you did scratch the dog. I didn't see you scratch it.
For context, we watched
You know what?
at our boss's house.
I'm
Dave
calling
Portnoy.
timeout for Max. You need a 20-second timeout.
That
was a bad start.
No, that was what was going on in my head made sense. The Kobe, Matt Barnes.
Okay, all right, bad start.
Yeah.
Take a 20-second timeout. Let's just talk.
We'll just start with the
tag
facts.
in.
How
Yeah.
about that? We'll start with the facts.
Yes.
There was a dog on the couch next to Max watching the game. It wanted so much for Max to love it, and Max just wouldn't give the time of day.
Max,
You're still in
20-second
timeout, Max.
timeout.
So that's just the fact.
And
now
while,
the game.
while Max was not petting the dog,
Mm-hmm.
he was watching the Sixers get absolutely demolished. Joel Embiid looked old, tired, injured.
Injured. The big 3.
James Harden, also tired. I told Max after game 1, Doc Rivers should sit Embiid and James Harden. He didn't listen to me, Max that is. Neither did Doc. A little stat for everyone. Jaylen Brown started becoming the primary defender on James Harden. In 28 half-court sets that Jaylen Brown was guarding James Harden scored
No points.
1 point.
1 point.
1 point. 1 point. It felt like the Celtics asserted themselves as the team you thought you'd see in game 1. We now are...
Objection. That point shouldn't even count because it was a free throw. Jaylen Brown didn't even get to defend him on it.
Well, he probably fouled him.
You never know that.
Okay,
But still.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Max, we will tag you back in, and we'll start with this. Game 3 is a must-win for the Sixers.
No, it is not a must-win.
Yes.
You guys keep fucking saying this.
No, Max, I'll lay it out
makes
to you.
perfect
It's,
sense.
No,
it's math.
it doesn't.
Wait,
no,
Max.
this is stupid.
Max.
You guys already started saying this
Max.
yesterday, and it doesn't make any fucking
All
sense.
right, timeout, Max.
Every game in the playoffs, a
Max,
must win.
you're in timeout. That's
You
a
said-
championship
You said
mentality
game
from
2
Hank.
was not a must-win.
Yeah, no.
Even
Game
though it
3 is a
was,
must-win
the
for the
Celtics played
Sixers.
game 2 like it was a must-win, and that's
It's
what
a
happened.
simple math situation.
It's math. Max,
math.
will you listen to math?
Okay.
Okay, just these are facts only. Okay, so fact or fiction? Since you guys won game 1, if you guys win every other game, you win the series. If you lose 2 games in a row at any point in this series, you will probably lose. Fact or fiction?
If
you win every other game of the series, you win.
Threw me off.
Okay.
Yes, if you win every other game of the series, you win.
So if
Max.
you win game 3, then game 4 is not a must-win anymore. Then you win game 5.
Correct.
Then game 6 isn't a must-win. Then you win game 7.
Max.
Boom, championship.
Max, here's where it makes perfect sense. You just got beat by 30 points with
Happens.
Joel Embiid back on the court.
But he was working his way back in. It was like a minor league start. It was a rehab start.
Okay, well, he looked bad. He looked bad, okay?
He's going to look so much better tonight.
How much better?
He's going to drop at least 35.
You say it happens.
At least 35.
Losing
tonight.
by 30 is not good.
Bucks lost by 42 game 2 of the second round when they won the finals.
Okay, you fell for that trap. Giannis, the rest of that series went 34-13.
Yeah.
Is that what Embiid's going to do?
Yes, like
Okay,
that. Like
okay,
you're talking
okay,
about the
okay.
guy who averaged that in the regular season, like that.
Regular season.
Okay,
All right,
but
but here's my biggest point about Game 3 being a must-win. If you win Game 3, all the pressure's back on the Celtics. If you lose Game 3, the Celtics basically can say, we don't have to win Game 4. If we lose Game 4, it's a 3-game series with us having home court.
So what happened yesterday?
That's what...
Celtics won by 30.
And the Celtics
Sixers looked at that game like it wasn't a must-win game, and they shouldn't have looked at it that way. But that's what happened.
Exactly. So Game 3 is now a must-win for
If
the
they
Sixers.
look good in Game 3, and like it is a hard-fought game that they lose, then that is fine. And then they come back and win Game 4. This is the same exact thing that Hank said.
This is future Max talking.
Not on the record.
It's a must-win.
Max,
It's a
It is
must-win.
on the record.
It's a must-win.
It is on the record.
If
You
you
said
lose
Game 2 was not a must-win.
If you lose Game 3, you lose the series.
No, I honestly, there's a part of me that wants to lose Game 3 and then come back and win the series because you fuckers are making me so angry.
Which
right
part
now.
of you wants to lose Game 3?
like just the part to like look at your fucking face and be like, we lost Game 3.
Well,
and then
I've
won
been
the
very
rest of
much on the
series.
record with what I'm rooting for this series. I'm rooting for it to alternate wins until we get to Game 7 so we can see, like, Wednesday's show, Hank was as down in the dumps as you can get. Friday's show, Max is being aggro Max, where he's just needs 20-second timeout 5 seconds into the game. And I wanted to just flip-flop back and forth so these guys have to deal with it and then get to Game 7 and have Game 7. I don't care who wins, but I want it to be as controversial as possible where the loser can be like, we got screwed.
Yeah. Max, he cracked all of his knuckles within the first like 10
He's
seconds
gonna
of
fight me.
talking.
He wants to
And
fight
he's,
me.
he's trying to find more knuckles to crack because he's so angry right now.
I want you guys to feel my hands and how much they're sweating right now.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
just
you.
like,
Oh, that
no,
was
they
almost
are-
badass for a second.
Yeah,
there.
feel my hands.
Yeah, I want you to feel the
Yeah.
power of my hands.
No, they are drenched in sweat because I'm just perspirating anger out of my.
So, Max, so you have a point, which is Embiid looked like shit last night, right? He looked like shit.
Yes.
He can't look any worse than shit.
Oh, I
Impossible.
disagree.
So-
I disagree. He could definitely.
But
look worse.
he looked worse as the game went on. So would you
looked
say
bad in the second half.
Did he get healthier as the game went on?
No, but he hadn't played in 10 days. He hadn't practiced in
How
10
many games
days.
has Embiid played in the playoffs? 4.
He played 2.5. No, he played 3. He played 3 full games.
So this is his 4th game.
Correct. But he hadn't played in 10 days.
Fun fact.
He hadn't moved in 10 days.
Kawhi Leonard has more made field goals in these playoffs than Joel Embiid.
I don't care.
Very
I don't
funny.
care.
Isn't that a
You're
fun
also
fact? That's a
you're
fun
al-
fact.
You're also
right?
forgetting that Embiid dominated the paint in the first half yesterday. He made the Celtics look like children trying to get layups at the rim.
He had a 10-point lead at half.
That we weren't making shots.
I wouldn't say-
Sometimes you don't make shots.
Oh, you're talking
Sometimes
about-
you make shots.
You're talking
Sometimes you
about
don't
on
make
defense.
shots.
On defense,
Yes.
he dominated.
Yes, he did. And it's not like he was missing shots. He just wasn't taking any.
Well, because
it's not
he-
like he was chucking
Wait. He wasn't missing shots because he was turning the ball over before he had a chance to shoot.
Yes.
You know who was missing shots?
James Harden missed a lot of shots, correct.
There was some monkey business going on with that rim too.
Yes.
There was some weird rim
I
ins,
said
rim
it.
outs.
I'm not going to say it again.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Say it again.
No, I know what he's going to say. You want me to say it for you? I'll say it for him. We got in the car after we were watching the game, and Max said to me, if James Harden's first 3 that rattled around the rim had gone in, different game.
They win.
Different
I
game.
agree. You know what? I agree.
Lost
I
by
don't know if
27.
they win, but it's a different game.
They would lose by 24. It's a different game.
So Max, during the game, I was telling you, I was trying to coach you through it because you went through all the different emotions.
How to pet a
Well,
dog.
I mean,
right.
this was.
You can't teach a man how to pet a dog.
No,
that's,
he either
that's in
has
your
it or he
heart.
doesn't.
It's in your
Yeah.
heart at that point.
I mean,
Max,
Dogs know.
you should have lost that game like the Bucks smartly did by 40 points because if you lose by 40 instead of 30, then you're like, fuck it, that's an aberration. Let's burn the
was an
tape
aberration.
and move on. But you lost by like a believable amount of points in a blowout.
it was an aberration. That game will not happen again.
So win or loss.
You aren't saying that with your chest.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay.
We will not see the Sixers look like that again in this playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, Doc Rivers is going to coach the boys up.
Okay.
Playoff Doc.
Game 2 is a must win.
No. Game 2 is not a must win.
Game
it's
3
not
is
or
a must
game
win.
Well, game 2 was a must-win for the Celtics. It's a good thing they won because it was must-win.
Yeah.
It was a must-win
No,
game for the Celtics.
I agree
I'm
with
going to
that.
go on the record every game from now on. It's a must-win for the Celtics.
So what happens if you lose a game?
The next
you're
game's
done.
a must-win.
If it's a must
No,
win.
the next game after that, must-win.
Must-win means the series is over if you don't win that game.
So every
That's
game's
what
probably a
must-win
can't
means.
lose then. You can't lose game 3.
You definitely can't lose.
Game 3, if you lose game 3, that's a...
No, you're trying because then you're going to paint me in this picture of like, oh, you already said the series is over.
These are the moments
Because
where
that's what must
we
win.
were saying it before, but these are the moments where like there's definitely some F1 fans that are listening to this show just for the interviews, and they're listening to our conversation right now, and they're like, "What are these guys doing?
Yeah, qu'est-ce que c'est le différence?
How did these guys get popular? They are talking in circles." Final ruling: can't lose game 3. Not a must win. Can't lose.
No, you will not get me to say that.
At home?
If
There's not
they
really a
have
home
to
court
win one of
advantage
these
in
next
Philly.
2. I will agree they have to win one of these next 2.
Well,
You have to.
I would say they have to win one of these next 3.
Well, that would be fact. But I'm willing to say you have to win one of the next 2. If you go down 3-1, you're fucked.
You know, I mean, if you
If you go down 2-1, like
if you go down 2-1, you guys are going to get gentlemen swept. It's going to be 4-1.
fuck off.
This
No,
game,
we're not.
yes. If you lose this game, you might as well lose 3 games in a row.
Okay. Any last words from this game? The drone was insane. I cannot believe they have a drone in a basketball
I hated the
game.
drone. Whose idea was that to fly the drone in the middle of the camera and then just cover up the plays, just so we could get like one shot that looked like a video?
It was
It didn't
crazy.
look cool.
I was
It
like,
weird.
when we were watching, I was like, why is there a drone there? And it took everyone for a second to like adjust their eyes. Like, wait, why is there a drone there? It made no sense.
It was weird. Joe Mazzulla, we should give him credit, right?
Yes.
He was pissed off after the game. He said like, how come nobody's asking me about my adjustments that I made?
Right.
You guys
No.
don't want to talk about that?
It looked like the Celtics played with a lot more defensive intensity. Jason Tatum was not good, and they still won by 24. Marcus Smart, like he basically looked in the mirror and was like, yeah, I am him. And he came out and played a great game. Yeah, the Celtics. Okay.
That's probably true. Probably true.
You got to hope. Unfortunately, James Harden probably will shoot like that again, 2 for 14.
Okay, I'm done with the
Do you
whole
need a
James
timeout?
Harden.
Do you
No,
need a
I'm
timeout?
done with the whole James Harden talk. He had a bad game, but then you can't just negate what he did in game 1. Like,
Of course not.
yeah,
But when
so
it-
you can't just immediately be like, oh yeah, he's back to 2 of 14 after what he did in game 1, because he can just as easily go back to that in game 1 and game 3.
Sustaining
Correct.
excellence is why you
Correct.
how you win a
Sustaining
championship.
excellence is fantastic. I hate the way you're just smiling and moving your head.
But Max,
around.
this is how it works. On Wednesday's show, PFT and I were going after Hank, and
I
you
know.
got to sit there and laugh along. Now we're going after you, and Hank gets to laugh along. This is how it
I
works.
know.
This is why I wish this series was a best of 99.
Wednesday's
We're just
show is
watching it for the
great.
next 6 months.
I wish it was the
I have
championship.
one more thing to say.
Oh, it is Max's championship.
I have one more thing to say that I'm very passionate about. I am done hearing about the MVP. I'm done hearing about the MVP.
Congrats.
Yeah, you
Because
won.
there was so much joy and cheering over the MVP when we had a playoff series to play that night.
Would you say it was like they drank the champagne before they won anything?
Yes, it looked like they were drinking champagne. We're gonna go home on Friday.
Wait. Max, in your opinion, how should they have celebrated Joel Embiid winning the MVP?
No, I mean, it's like it was just too much talking about the MVP. We've been waiting for this moment for so long. Like, it's like, okay, I get it. The MVP is great, but we have a ball game to win, and you need to focus on game 2 and not just keep celebrating the MVP and then get smoked by 40.
I've never heard somebody say the word joy with as much anger in their face as Max just did.
There's no
Like,
joy.
I am
too much
so
joy.
happy. I'm so
joy
happy
in
that
Mudville.
Joe won the MVP. I'm very happy that Joe won the MVP. I am very mad with the way that they came out after he won the MVP.
Good.
Put it behind you.
So you wanna give it
go
to-
on to Friday. Get back into this series.
But
Give it to Jokic.
But if you lose, it's okay.
Wait, but I'm pretty sure Friday night is when Adam Silver's going to give him the trophy. That's how it works. Yes.
But the crowd,
yes,
the
yes,
crowd will get behind that though.
yes.
No, the crowd.
No,
will
they're
get
going to
behind
cheer.
that. That's the other thing. We're on the road. We split 2 games on the road. No matter how you look at it, a win is a win, a loss is a loss. You went into Boston and you took home court, and no one's talking about it.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
That
so
was a good away stretch.
yeah,
for the Sixers.
You finally talked yourself into a good point and got
Yeah.
angry enough to make some sense. Which is, if you had told Max like a week ago,
Yeah.
that you'd be leaving Boston with a 1-1 split, you would have taken that, right?
100%. And I
What
kept
if-
saying that.
But if you lost by 30 points in the second game, would
don't
you have-
care. Win is a win. Loss is a loss.
Okay.
What about losing game 3? Have to win game 3.
Don't have to
lose.
win one out of the next 2.
Okay.
Have to win
Max
one out of the
almost
next
wants
2.
to see them lose the next game, as a matter of fact.
No, I don't. I really would like to see them win, but I also would like to say something to you.
So, Hank,
He really pointed at me there.
Hank's been super quiet. I know that there have been a million thoughts running through your head through this entire conversation. You get the floor, Hank.
Game 3 is a must-win. We got to just take control of the series, win by 30 again, kill Philly's will to live, and just end this series quickly. I don't want 7 games. I don't want 6 games. 5 games. Gentleman's sweep starts tonight. Must win.
Given the fact that they're going to give Joel Embiid the MVP trophy in Philadelphia on Friday night, would you say if Philly was a good sports town, they would boo that because they should stop celebrating and move on?
Yeah, I don't even think they should stand up.
Yeah. Okay.
Take out newspapers and pretend like you're reading them instead of.
You're kind of crying right now, Max.
I'm not crying. I'm just thinking.
Look at his
I
eyes.
wasn't listening to what Hank had to say.
Yeah, you were, because
No,
you
I
almost
wasn't.
came up to the mic halfway through it.
No, because I was just thinking about something Hank is just so confident right now, even though before the game yesterday he was like, there's going to be a Lakers-Sixers final. There's going to be a Lakers-Sixers final.
Did not
and it's
say
going to be
that.
my worst nightmare.
It would be.
I did not say that. I didn't say there's going to be. I just said in a world where there's a Lakers, doesn't matter. I didn't say this year, just any world where it's Lakers, Sixers, I would cease to exist as a human being.
Well, no. Once LeBron leaves, it doesn't. It's not as bad.
Not as bad.
Yeah.
Still bad.
Yeah.
But if it was, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Max.
Good job, Max.
Good luck on Friday night. Can't lose. Can't lose. Yeah, we'll do a Fire. Max, you'll have a Fyre Fest. Have a Fyre Fest, Max. All right. Other news. Coach Bud got fired.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
He gets to take a timeout with him
Yeah.
into retirement. That's kind of cool.
I mean, it goes to show you just how short term a lot of people's memories are when it comes to the ownership, because he's a very, very good coach. He's going to get hired by somebody somebody's going to be very, very lucky to have him.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out at the end.
It didn't
and it
work
was
out.
tough, the news that came out after the series was over about what he was going through during the games.
Yeah.
About his brother.
Yeah, it was not. It wasn't great.
You can forgive him for his head being in a different place.
Here's a fun fact that I love these fun stats that they sound cool when said, but when you actually look into it, it's not that cool. Every NBA coach besides Steve Kerr that's won a championship since 2015 got fired.
That is a cool stat.
But it's not that
now
cool, 'cause it's-
wait, let me look into it. Who else got fired?
It's Bud, Nick Nurse, and Ty Lue.
Okay.
So yeah. It's one of
Well-
those stats that's hidden under the fact that Steve Kerr has 4 championships.
And the Lakers.
and Vogel. Yes.
Yeah, but that
Vogel.
doesn't count.
Yeah, that was a bubble.
Our friend
Wow, you almost just said that the Lakers won a championship.
Yeah. Our friend Buddha Ben, he's running with the theory right now that the bubble did not even exist, that it was all AI, computer generated.
Oh,
so look
okay.
into that. Ben's on it.
Let's get our best guys
Sounds
on it.
credible, yeah.
Well, Buddha Ben is our best
He
guy.
is our best guy. He's the best guy. Maybe tag team Mike the Bike, and we're ready to go. We also had a couple other NBA stories. We talked about the MVP. We also had the weirdest story ever written in the Denver Post. The writer who wrote about Jokic being the real MVP. He wrote, so this is Mark Kisla, wrote, sorry, Mr. Joel Embiid, but we all know Nikola Jokic is real MVP of everyday Budweiser drinking peeps. He said peeps.
Peeps, yeah.
He said peeps. And so he talked about Jokic being cool guy, awesome guy, great leader. And then we got to a very weird paragraph where he said, I'm not ashamed to admit to spending so much time in the Denver locker room waiting for Jokic to shower, dress, and share his self-deprecating pearls of wisdom that I know this man has wicked funny taste in boxers. Underneath the fine and stylish European attire he wears into the arena, Jokic sports wacky underwear that on any given night colorfully celebrate Budweiser, the king of beers, or might be adorned with the face of SpongeBob SquarePants. After silencing Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the grousing Suns, who seemed to have a beef with the ref after every whistle, Jokic slipped into silly boxers that proclaimed, "That's what she said," across his booty.
Classic joke. So that's his secret to his MVP seasons, was he wears funny boxers.
He basically was like, Jokic didn't win a third straight MVP, but he's the champion of the people because everyone no one knows this, but I know it because I stalk him every night after the game that he has funny boxers.
He's the most valuable underwear.
Yes.
wearer. It was a bizarre article.
Very bizarre.
Really strange. But you know what? He spends more time around him than I do. So maybe there is something to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jordan, he wore the same shorts underneath his shorts every game.
Yeah.
He wears like UNC athletic shorts as boxers.
It's
I bet Kevin Durant wears whitey tighties.
Yeah.
I could definitely
maybe
see
a little
that.
stain on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very bizarre. Very bizarre that Jokic should have won the MVP because he wears hilarious boxers. But yeah, that was the big response for Embiid winning from Denver.
I actually thought that the best basketball was being played in Denver by the mascot. Did you see Rocky's shot?
Yes.
It was fucking insane.
Yes.
Mascots are more athletic than NBA players.
What was
Yes.
the shot?
I stand by that take. So Rocky, the Denver Nuggets mascot, he's like a cougar or mountain lion or whatever. He set up a giant ladder at half court and then climbed that ladder, put another ladder on top of it, climbed up to the top of that ladder, and then took the ball like he was going to shoot a half court shot. And then at the last minute, threw it backwards over his head and it went in the other basket. Swish.
Damn.
It was fucking
That
unreal.
rules. That
When
rules.
you look back on the NBA, I think you can make a case that, was it Benny the Bull?
Benny the Bull.
Benny the Bull, outstanding athlete. The Phoenix Gorilla, maybe the best basketball player of all time.
Yep.
And then Rocky is this generation's.
Yep.
What's that, Hank?
Lucky.
Lucky the Leprechaun? What is
But
he
he's
done?
not, he's a guy.
Yeah, but he does flips and shit.
But he's not a mascot. He's a guy.
So he's just a gymnast?
What do you mean?
All these other
Like,
mascots,
we
they're
just-
basketball players.
Like, do you think there's a Benny the Bull is a bull?
Yeah. No, they bring him from Ireland.
Oh, okay, that counts then.
Yeah.
They find him under
His
a
name
bridge.
is Lucky.
okay.
That's how they cast.
Yeah.
Name has to be Lucky.
Okay, so we had that, and then we have the Dillon Brooks fallout. So turns out that Shams might have editorialized a little bit. Everyone's mad at him. The Grizzlies are mad at him. Dillon Brooks is mad. Agent is mad at him. I'm pretty sure Shams, even though he might have taken a little bit of liberty, also nailed it. And then we had JJ Redick, who we love, who's going to come back on the show. There's just JJ's really good every now and then just having a clip that's just like reeking of irony that I don't think he fully realizes when he was saying that Shams was just trying to get engagement on Twitter and JJ was making this point on First Take. And he was like, all that anyone cares about is engagement and hot takes. And
I think that JJ goes on First Take for the integrity of defending basketball in
Yes.
general. I actually don't think he cares about engagement. He's just so passionate about going against the hot takes that he ends up having a hot take of his own.
JJ always makes good points. Oh, this one I kind of disagreed with just because there's no way that Dillon Brooks wasn't part of like the failure of. He wasn't the whole failure. He was a little bit of a scapegoat, but his like performance and the way he acted did not help the Grizzlies beat the Lakers. And him making that point, like getting super serious on First Take, always makes you laugh because then Stephen A. Smith will just like chime in and be like, Dillon Brooks is a bum.
Yeah, and then it's like if you argue with JJ, it's like you're getting into a screaming match with a librarian,
Right.
and they'll make much better points than you.
Yeah.
But JJ, I don't think he has yet to understand the point of First Take,
Right.
which is to be wrong but be louder.
It's a noble pursuit by JJ to like try to elevate the discourse.
Yeah,
But newsflash, the discourse is never getting elevated.
No,
We'll
no.
drag you back down in the mud and be like, Chris Paul, choke artist.
yeah, it's a one-way street.
Zero
and
rings.
It's going straight down. I actually think that Shams, what I truly believe happened behind the scenes, Shams put out his first report, which was correct, and he heard that from somebody at the Grizzlies. And then everybody's like, yo, this is a little bit harsh.
Right.
The Grizzlies saw that, and they're like, wow, free agents might think twice about signing with us because we're going to take a big steaming shit on them on the way out the door. We don't want people to think that's how we do business. So we're going to have to go back and we're going to fight against that report and say that's not how it was said at the time.
Right.
And so now that's where we're at right now. But in the back of his head, Dillon Brooks knows that he's not going back to Memphis.
No,
And
there's 0%.
Memphis is like, yes, correct. Under zero circumstances will we ever bring him back.
Yeah, no, Dillon Brooks is the meme that goes around Adam Silver. You better learn Chinese, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where he's at right now. I mean, someone will probably take a risk on him, but it has not gone well for Dillon Brooks.
The talking text, what team is that? Is that
Coach K was
Philippines?
right.
No, Coach K taught him how to be a bad person. Dillon Brooks was fine until Coach K got his hands on him.
No, he was trying to teach him to stay calm, stay humble.
I don't know about that.
That's not true.
There was
That's not close to true.
there was another great hot take out there in the world of football. Did you guys see what they said about Sam Darnold today? Matt Maiuko, the writer in San Francisco?
No.
He said Sam Darnold might be the most talented thrower of football that the 49ers have ever had. What's that mean?
Joe Montana?
Memes, what are you doing?
Memes believes.
Memes love Sam Darnold.
No, he hates him.
No,
Most talented thrower.
Most talented thrower of football. He didn't say best quarterback.
In the history of San Francisco 49ers
In the history
football.
of the 49ers. Have they had any good quarterbacks in the past?
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
Yeah,
Yeah, good point.
Yep. Jeff Garcia.
Yeah.
Alex Smith.
Josh Johnson.
Yep.
Anybody else?
These are pretty good. Yeah. No, I think we nailed it.
Yep,
I
that's
think
it.
those
So
are
yeah,
pretty
I guess he's right. Most talented thrower of football.
He's not a thrower. He's a passer.
I don't even know what that means. Most talented thrower. Well, yes, I do know exactly what that means. Just a guy that you watch and you're like, Jamarcus Russell would win that award.
Yeah.
Like the most talented thrower of football that the NFL has ever had.
Yeah, the ball spins well. Brady Quinn, great thrower.
Good. Basically, what he said was, "I want to fuck his spiral."
Yeah. Yeah. Most
Okay,
talented thrower.
Concurred.
Yeah. It does make me think of just Joe Namath. He's not a thrower. He's a passer.
Mm-hmm.
We can take the Jets all the way. I want to kiss you. Okay. Anything else? We have Kentucky Derby talk coming up with Randy Moss. Very excited for that. Yeah. So everyone tune in to watch F1 on Sunday, Miami Grand Prix. Let's do it though. We have Christian Horner and then Max and Checo. So 2 interviews back to back. Great interviews. I think we fixed Red Bull. In terms of maybe the rift between Max and Checo.
Yeah, they're super broken right now.
No,
but you
they're
can get
bros.
better. You can get better.
They're bros.
Yeah, they're bros. We got them together, and then we have Randy Moss giving us Kentucky Derby picks, tips, everything. Always fun to have Randy Moss on. So let's get into it. Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest, recurring guest. It is Christian Horner, team principal, Red Bull Racing. Thank you for joining us in person in Miami. I'm going to ask the most important question to start. It is probably the toughest question. Have you picked out your toilet this weekend? Because last time you were on, you told us you have your lucky toilet.
Yeah.
This is your second year in Miami.
No, exactly.
Do you know where you're going?
I'm trying to remember which one I used last year because that was pretty good.
Yes.
But I'm heading to the track straight after this, so do a bit of reconnaissance.
Yeah.
What do you look for in the toilet? Is it just a vibe? You look at it, you're like, yeah, that's the one right there. Or is
Yeah.
there a quality that you look for?
I think anything that isn't called Toto.
Yeah.
But I think it's just got to be convenient and available.
Smart.
It is because we're new to F1. So when we had you on,
Yeah.
we always don't know where the interview's like who's going to pick up what. But that was the story that everyone picked up from you being on the first time.
About the lucky toilet.
The lucky
Yeah.
toilet
Yeah,
made
yeah.
press. That was it.
No, absolutely. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. It was like, okay, I guess everyone wants to talk about this. So the season's been great so far.
Yeah.
You guys are in first. You have 2 guys who are competing for a championship. You said you're going to let them race.
Yep.
What exactly does let them race mean? Because obviously there's a point where you have to pull it back if you risk the team, right?
Yeah.
So how do you find that line?
Well, it's exactly that. It's finding that line because in Formula One you've got 2 competition. You've got the drivers' championship, which is where all the prestige and the hype and the fan interest is, and then you've got the constructors' championship, which is where the money is distributed and where we're measured against our rival teams. So both have a value, and of course both rely on both drivers scoring as many points as possible. So it's a question of just reminding the drivers that it's not their car, it's a team car,
Right.
and they're representing the hopes of every single employee, of every single member of the team, all our partners and so on when they're racing our cars. And so long as they respect that, which so far they've been great, then we've got no problem allowing them to race each other in a clean and healthy way.
From the outside looking in, it feels like a good problem to have, right? Like in terms of problems that you could have in F1, having your car be so good
Yeah.
that both your racers are competing for the championship. I would imagine you'd want that over every other problem.
This is the kind of problem that you dream about having.
Right.
This is a luxury problem, and it's not a problem. It's actually great to see the 2 guys pushing each other hard. It's great to see how Checo's made a step up. Now he's in a 3rd year with us as well, and Max again continuing to evolve. And what we're seeing is the best of them. And I think over a 23 race championship. It's going to be fascinating. But what we can't do is take our eye off the ball of what's going on with the other teams, and we've got to make sure we keep edging away from them in both championships.
Yeah, in American media and sports, we always like to say if a team is too dominant, we like to have the conversation. It's probably the stupidest conversation that we have. Are they bad for the sport because they're so dominant? Is Red Bull bad for racing because you guys are so good right now?
Well, look, from my perspective, obviously not. But I think when you've got two teammates that are competing hard with each other like we have, that's another dynamic. It's another focus of interest. And don't write those other teams off, because we're about to head back to Europe fairly shortly. Big upgrades we know are in the pipeline for some of our rivals, and this year we have a restricted amount that we can develop the car with in terms of time in the wind tunnel. So I'm expecting the others to come back at us through the summer.
Can you explain to us the shortening of the DRS zones and what that means in this race? I think 2 out of the 3 they pulled back. Is that good for you, or is that bad for Red Bull?
I think it depends if you're ahead or not. I mean, the DRS zone for when the flap opens that gives you an overspeed on the straight. Some have argued that it's been too easy to make an overtake. So I think that's why they've been trimming these zones to make it more wheel to wheel. And we'll see how that works in Miami. I think it had an impact in Azerbaijan. They trimmed it by 100 meters. Maybe it should have, I think with hindsight, been 50 rather than the 100, because there wasn't a huge amount of overtaking going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So your car's been dominant for a couple of years now. At what point in that process were you like, oh, we have something special? Like, at what point during the building of the car, you're like, we have something that no one else is going to have going forward?
Well, that's the thing. You just don't know.
Really?
And, last year was a big reset, new regulations. We turn up at the first test. Everybody's car looks a bit different, and the Mercedes look very different. And you think, have we missed something dramatic here? And then, of course, 22 was an incredible year for us. And then we've just taken all those learnings and applied it into this car. And the car was a little bit heavy last year. We got the car on the weight limit and that kind of stuff, and just evolved the theme. And we've been surprised that the others haven't been closer to us so far, but feel that will come later in the year.
Yeah. So from a novice perspective, which we come at this sport from, we're learning it, we're getting into it.
Yeah.
Week to week, how many adjustments are made on the car? Is it just constantly evolving? Is it similar to a football team where it's like you see the first drive and then the coach says, all right, we got to change everything we planned because it's not working?
I think every track is different, like Miami compared to last week in Azerbaijan, different surface, different type of corners, et cetera, so it's different downforce levels. So you're constantly evolving and tuning the car, and then at strategic points within the budget that you have and the tools that you have, you're upgrading the car, the bodywork, the wings, the engine cover, the floor, the big performance, differentiators. So and teams strategically pick where they're going to introduce those upgrades. So and that's why I'm expecting when we head back to Europe, cars to start to converge a little.
That's interesting.
Do you like racing in America? Do you like the events that are taking place? We're expanding over here. We got Vegas coming up soon. You mentioned it was on your birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
well,
birthday.
it's very kind of them to put the event on my 50th birthday. I mean,
that's huge.
So
I mean,
you're going to win that race.
planned it specifically for that.
You have to win that race
for that weekend. So it's going to be an awesome event. I think it's going to be the biggest sporting event globally this year. I really do. I think that the interest and the hype around that race. I mean, a Saturday night race down the strip in Vegas. Who doesn't want to be there? Who does not want to see that race? And I think it's going to be such a spectacle. And I think racing in the States for us is very different. I mean, I'm very British, obviously, and coming over here, everybody's so friendly and a lot of high fives and fist pumps, even when you go out for a run. Mm-hmm. In England, you go for a run, nobody talks to you. Over here, everybody's super friendly. So. So that's taking an adjustment. But just the interest and the hype around Formula One is just amazing, and you guys put on a great show, and I'm sure we're going to see something a bit different this weekend as well.
Well, I would say also this weekend it's the coronation. What better coronation present?
Yeah.
So you're missing that.
Yeah,
you're missing
exactly.
it. But if you win, that's the ultimate gift, isn't it?
I'm sure he's going to be watching in between his duties. What's going on out in Miami, but it's a big weekend in the UK. But nothing bigger than that for us than being out here in Miami.
Yeah, that's true. So in America, we love the redemption arc of teams and sports, where a team has success, they get torn down, then they come back and they recover. You had 4 championships with Vettel. Red Bull was dominant.
Yep.
There was a period then where Mercedes takes over. Now you're back. Was there a moment in that entire path where you thought, like, I may never be back on the top? Like, this is, it's getting bleak. It's getting hard. I don't, not even quitting, but just like you're forcing your head through a wall and you just can't get through.
Honestly, I don't think there was ever a point that we didn't believe we could get back. And I think it was having that culture, that can-do attitude. It was a question of, okay, we need to address where our weaknesses are. Why are they beating us? And Mercedes is an incredible team, and their achievements during that period have been record-breaking. But I think it just demonstrates that if you want something bad enough and you focus and apply yourself, you can achieve it. And sport, it always comes in cycles, whether it's Formula One or football or basketball or any form of sport. You always are going to see cycles of winning teams. And I think that for me, the challenge is how long can we keep this cycle going?
Yeah, because it is interesting, people who are getting to the sport in America right now, they see Red Bull dominant. They're probably like, oh, we don't like these guys. They always win. It's like, but you don't know the history that, it was a stretch where they weren't winning and they were trying to get back up on top of the mountain, which is, that's the best part of sports.
I mean, look back 3 years. I mean, the domination we've had is believe it or not, we're not as dominant as Mercedes were, a few years ago. They finished, I think, first and second in the first 5 Grand Prix. Right. Look, and of course we've got this competition between our 2 drivers, and that's a whole different dynamic and a different responsibility from a team point of view, because suddenly it doesn't just become about racing the others. It becomes about just ensuring that both have got the same opportunity, and that as fairly as we can, even to the point of who drives out the garage first, we alternate from weekend to weekend. Who talks first in the debrief? Yeah,
you're under a microscope.
We alternate from weekend to weekend to ensure as much fairness as we can possibly provide.
It's really interesting because we were talking earlier this week about certain NBA coaches in basketball that have had to manage 2 superstars at one time. Yeah. So Phil Jackson, when he had Michael Jordan, Shaq and Kobe, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Spoelstra when he had the big 3 down here in Miami. So that's interesting how you try to keep everything fair. Are there certain elements of the different drivers' personalities that that, okay, this guy must need a little bit more encouragement on certain weekends, this person needs some tough love at this point? How do you manage dealing with those egos?
Well, they're all different. And, sometimes they need an arm around the shoulder. Sometimes they need a kick up the arse, but both great drivers, and there's a great dynamic between the 2 of them. And I think what Checo has, the way he's kicked off this year, has been fantastic. And of course, all the races he's won for us so far have been on street tracks. And I think the challenge for him is going to come. Okay, he knows Max has been the most informed driver of arguably the last 5 years. So he's got to keep this level across 23 events, and we're just fortunate, and it's great to see the healthy competition that there is between these 2 great drivers.
Yeah, I saw that there was a bit of a stir when you made the comment, I think it was last week, that Checo was lucky in certain regards. Now I think that's unfair to you, because in any sport there is a certain element of luck that's involved. So in any race, depending on when you pit, all that stuff, these small fractions of a second make a big difference. How much of racing is luck, in your opinion?
Well, I think it sometimes plays a role, and it's how you use it at the end of the day as well. And look, what happened with the safety car last weekend? Checo benefited because he had a shorter time in the pit lane, because when the safety car comes down, everything slows down, and so he gained a track position without having to make the overtake on track. But then he had to convert that.
Right.
And not on one lap did he ever let Max get close enough to get into that DRS zone. And at one point, pulled out a 3.7 second lead. And it was a phenomenal race, from him. But, you look back to Jeddah or Saudi last year, he was in the lead pit, took a pit stop, and the safety car out, and it benefited Max. And, he was unlucky on that day. Max got lucky. It tends to even itself out, these situations over the course of a season. But the comment was not in reference to him having a lucky win. It was a lucky scenario that he then converted. And man, did he put in a competitive race.
I think that's totally fair.
It's the ball bounce. Like we watch, we watch it all the
exactly.
time. The ball bounces your way sometimes. It doesn't mean that like you don't deserve a win. It's just that's how the ball bounces.
And Max recognized that. He said, "Look, the opposite happened in Jeddah last year. That's the way it goes sometimes.
Right.
That's sport."
So speaking on that though, you're mic'd up during the race.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic thing for the viewers. We love being able to see what's going on in the control center and how you're talking to the drivers. Are you going forward going to be like, I'm not going to say some things now because everything's got under a microscope?
If you just respond to what people are writing on social media or whatever, then we're just going to end up with robots. You've got to respond to what you're seeing and what you're feeling and what you believe the drivers are feeling. And of course, sometimes you've got to pick drivers up. Sometimes you've got to manage expectations and so on. And I see that is part of my role is to do that. And the most important thing is to deal with it openly and honestly.
So we like to troll on this show. We like to basically make a mockery of the media and kind of get the media. Just an idea, throwing it out there.
Yeah.
We're saying this. It's going to be on a podcast. Maybe when you're on an open mic, you say to Max over the weekend, like, you're my favorite son ever. And then everyone flips out. And then they're like, no, wait, we planned this whole thing.
Yeah.
Good idea, right?
I mean, you guys are changing the dynamic of radio calls.
You was like, it was obviously a joke. We said it out loud.
Yeah.
We said we were joking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I'm even thinking of selling, the space that, Max, this message is brought to you by Cash App.
Yeah. Why not throw a Rhoback ad in there?
Absolutely.
We'll give you some ads that you can pitch from our show.
Yeah. I like it. I like this idea.
Yeah, just be like, I said it on Part of My Take. I was going to say this, and then say it.
This
and then people will run with it, and then be like, no, you guys are idiots. You're not doing your job.
Yeah.
So we can get the media.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
The problem is people always pick out little bits that they want to hear or they want to see, and the most important thing is what our drivers feel and what our team feels. So to be honest with you, I don't really give a shit what others think. It's about what they think and what the team thinks.
Yeah, actually,
good attitude.
you can't cuss on this podcast though.
You can't.
No, you
I'm
can.
sorry
You can
for
say
that.
whatever you want.
Shit,
Fuck,
you
shit,
can- you
bitch,
can-
Ass.
motherfucker. You can say anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can say literally anything.
What's your favorite
Well, not
swear word?
anything.
My favorite swear word.
Yeah.
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, that's.
British people swear well.
Yeah.
Do they swear? They
Yeah.
swear.
Classy. It sounds classy when you guys.
sounds
do it.
more
When I say
classy.
Yeah.
motherfucker, everyone's like, "Shut Kid
Motherfucker.
Rock up."
Yeah, no, when
Yeah.
it's like when you get like a viral clip of like
Yeah.
a British guy watching
I mean,
his soccer team.
when I said change your fucking car,
Yeah.
I'm now seeing T-shirts with that on. I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
Change your fucking car.
I like that.
I like
yeah,
that too.
There you go.
So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, welcome to America. We want to be gracious hosts. Part of American culture is being very kind to our guests. So, in that spirit, I just have a little bit of American trivia for you.
Okay,
if that's all right.
Go on in.
Who won the Revolutionary War?
Good question.
Who was in it?
It was the colonies, the United States, and Great Britain.
Well, you guys obviously got Independence Day that came off the back of it, and so on. So
Never
All right.
forget.
yeah, never forget.
That's the only question that I have. in
Yeah,
American.
no, there you go. It's easy.
Follow-up
Oh wait,
question.
I have a question too.
Okay,
I
yeah,
have a
come on,
trivia
go on.
question. How many Super Bowls has England won?
Super Bowls as England won.
Yeah.
Well, is the Manchester United playing the Super Bowl?
Nope. So
It's
yeah,
a
the answer
Super
is zero.
League.
You guys have
Yeah,
not won
that's
any
the Super
Super Bowls. That's kind of pathetic, but whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe someday.
Exactly.
And then third question: did you watch the United States against England in the World Cup this year?
Yes, I did.
Who won that draw?
That's even. Do you know what? That shows my following of football. We won that one. Huh?
No, we won the draw.
we won the draw.
It was a
It was
0-0.
was it a nil?
Yeah, we won
You
it,
guys will
though.
take that as a victory. No?
We
Right,
won that draw.
exactly. So we
Exactly,
won.
yeah.
You probably got lucky on
You
the day.
lost the
Well,
draw. We won the draw.
Christian
okay.
Pusilich hit the crossbar. It was off the woodwork. We won that draw.
Who's your soccer team?
Who's my soccer? I like a team called Coventry City. They're in the second tier
Championship League. Yeah.
championship. They're getting to the playoffs.
Okay.
They're there. My grandfather used to be a part of that team, so that's why I've got an interest.
That's big.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get up to the EPL.
But I tell you what, the women's game. I went to see the women play football the other day, and they are kicking butt. They are doing
and they don't flop.
unbelievably well.
And they don't
and
flop.
they won a penalty shootout. I
Yeah.
mean, the men fluff the penalties all the time. The women, bang.
Yeah. No, they don't.
They
they
beat Brazil the other day. Unbelievable.
It's great to watch because
Yeah.
you'll watch a men's game and Neymar will get lightly touched and he'll go down like he needs to be
The
in
women
a
are-
wheelchair.
the
And
women are tougher
Play
than
through it.
the
Yeah,
guys.
they play through it.
Yeah,
Which is
the-
what we want to watch.
The point when women play soccer, the point is to not get pushed off the ball.
Yeah.
In men's soccer, it's like the point is, please push me so I can fall over
Yeah, yeah.
and embellish and get a penalty. Yeah.
So Drive to Survive has been fantastic.
Yep.
We watch it. We love it. Do you watch it back and just maybe make like a supercut of all the times you pissed Toto off and being like, this rules? Like, look how mad he is. I did that.
Well, do you know what? You get to see at the end of the year, they send through some of the cuts. And what you don't see is how they've put it with the other pieces. So you think, did I really say that?
Yeah.
Did I really, say the "see you next Tuesday" word or something like that?
Cunt.
And sometimes you think, where's this going? So I think we need that to be removed.
Yeah. It's an out of body experience to watch
that's-
yourself back. I'd
Exactly.
assume. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then of course, then you see how they cut, because you think, what are they giving the guys on the other side as hard a time as they appear to be giving us? And then you see the whole thing come together. But you've got to remember they're making a show. I mean, it's like the Kardashians on wheels, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's
I like that. That's very meta that you guys like the idea that you and Toto would complain to them that they showed you complaining more than the other person complaining.
yeah.
That's pretty much
That's
what you're
pretty
saying.
much what you're saying. Yeah.
So you watch every episode of it.
Have I watched every episode? I don't think I've seen all the episodes. I've seen the ones that are relevant to us.
To your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see what information other people are getting about Red Bull and what's being distributed out there. Is there anything that you think has been unfair in general in the way that you've been portrayed or the team's been portrayed?
Well, you got to remember that they're making a story or making a show, and somebody's going to be the villain, somebody's going to be the hero, and sometimes they swap over, and there's an element of pantomime to it. I mean, the one thing that's consistent is just how fucking scary Gunther Steiner is.
Yes. Yes.
But that's the that's the consistent theme.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Through all of the shows, what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how is your relationship with Toto right now? Is it if he called you and was like, "Hey, I want to get dinner with you," you'd be like, "This is a prank. What are you doing?"
I think he's blocked.
Oh, really?
No, it's fine. I mean, look, there's a healthy competition, and I think it's good to have rivalry in sport.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of winning. They're a great team, and now we're doing our thing, and we're tending not to look behind. We're looking forward, and it's not really about Toto. I mean, it's about Ferrari, about Aston Martin, and he's no doubt got his challenges. So I'll let him focus on those.
I'll correct you. It's great for sport to have rivalry. That's what we watch for.
Absolutely.
Like that is, you want to see. There's nothing better than when two teams don't like each other and the stakes get higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
And you get invested in your team. It's
Yeah.
the best.
Well, it's boring if everybody just loves each other and whatever. You've got to have a rivalry, and it's got to fire people up, and I think that fires the fans up as well. And there's always going to be people that support you and people that don't, and that will change from country to country that you go to.
Yeah.
So what about the supporters of the different racing teams? Is obviously in British football,
Yeah.
each team has their supporters and they're known for different things. In racing, is it the same way?
Ferrari, it's a great brand, isn't it?
It is. It's cool. I wear a Ferrari shirt. I don't own a Ferrari, but I wear it just so people think I own a Ferrari.
You see, you're a classic Ferrari.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kinda guy.
I don't take offense to
Poser.
that.
But look, it's great to have so many so many iconic brands, and what we see is just this fan base growing and growing. And not just for the team, but for the drivers. I mean, you see the support there is for Max when he's his Orange Army traveling around the world for such a little country. Those guys get around, and then when we race in Zandvoort or Belgium, it's unbelievable. And then we got the Mexicans, which is that's just insane that weekend when we go to. So we got about 4 or 5 home races.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
Smart.
Yeah.
Who are the hooligans?
The hooligans.
Yeah, which team do the hooligans support?
Which team is the hooligans? Well, that's probably us.
Yeah,
we're a bit edgy.
Well, I see that you're a company man. You're drinking a Red Bull right now. We do that. We drink 6 Coors Lights before.
But I think
every
look, we
episode.
play our music loud. We're a really bad neighbor. Everybody's enjoying what they're doing. They're doing it with a smile on their face. We do things a bit differently. We're not as corporate. Nobody in our factory wears a tie. They probably wouldn't get in the factory if they wore a tie. There's very much a jeans and t-shirt kind of culture in the design functions and so on. So it's just a different culture, and every team has its own characteristic. And I think the Red Bull one epitomizes, who we are. And it's got to be fun. It's got to be. If you don't enjoy what you do, why do it?
Yeah. All right. So last question. This has been fantastic. Best of luck in Miami. Before Max and Checo come into the room, who do you love more?
Well, look, I love all my children equally.
Oh, shoot, they're in the room. I didn't even realize they were in the room. Oh, no. That was my mistake.
Well, there you go. Have you got kids?
Yeah.
You love one more than the other?
Yeah, my daughter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's the easy answer.
Okay, that's...
Sorry, it is. It's
that's
just
kind of... In
easy
the UK, we'd never say anything like that.
I love it. People do that to me all the time, and I just am like, my daughter, and they don't know what to say. All right, well, thank you so much, Christian. We really appreciate it. Best of luck in Miami. Very fun to do this in person, and if you want to troll on the mic, we'll have your back. So
okay, that's
just
good
think
to know.
about it.
That's
think
good to
about
know.
it. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we now welcome on recurring guests who've been on before. It is from Team Red Bull, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Checo, and Max. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're at Miami for the F1 race this weekend. So let's start there. How good is the car right now?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, we've won the races.
You guys are winning a lot.
We've won so far all the races. So I think that's a great start. I mean, honestly, I think we didn't expect it to be that good. I mean, of course, we had a very strong car to the end of the year, but we really thought that starting this year, other people, would have been a bit closer. Especially, I think, in the race, the car is very, very strong. And that's, of course, where you score the points, right? But, I think we are all positively surprised with it.
Okay, so dumb question. We asked Christian this, like in America, if a team dominates too much, we always start the stupid storyline, are they bad for the sport? Because they're winning so much. Have you guys ever thought to maybe slow down a little bit just so that way the competition thinks they're closer than they are? Like being like, maybe in this race, I'll just hit the brake just a tiny bit just to make them think that they're close? Dumb question. I knew it sounded dumb when it came out.
The problem is if whoever sits in the lead, if you do that, then your teammate normally will get by. So I don't think
you guys
that will be the case. I think we will be really happy if we keep winning every single race.
Yeah, I guess now that we break it down, what we just asked you was like, have you ever considered being worse at your job?
Yeah, it's slower.
And that's probably not what goes through a Formula One driver's mind at any time. I saw your helmets. So you've got the custom paint design for this race this weekend. Does that make you faster?
I didn't make one. I forgot about it.
Oh, you didn't make one?
I missed out the boat, so I'm doing one for I think in 2-3 races time.
Is there a helmet that you've put on and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, this is a fast helmet?
I look at the car more than the helmet. And
that was another. Yeah, I mean, we like bet on teams based on their jerseys. So you'd have to understand, like when we see cool helmets, we're like, oh, they're not going to lose. Not even thinking about the car,
we're
just
like,
the helmets.
Yeah, we're like dogs. We see something and we're like, oh, that's cool.
All right, so the second year in Miami, how are American race fans? How has it like progressed from what you guys have seen? Obviously, Drive to Survive has been huge. But like rate us versus other race countries in the events.
I mean, I find it amazing how it has grown, and the race weekends in the US are unique because they're so different to, let's say, to the standard format of Formula One. I love it. I enjoy it. The there are a lot of fans, a lot of Latins, always in Miami, for example. And it's great to see how much they're getting into the sport, and also the young generations. So yeah, it's great that finally Formula One made it to the US.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I
Max?
think it's always been quite busy at the track, right? But even getting back to your hotel now, and just in general the travel to the track, you can see it's a lot busier and a lot more fans around. So definitely it has grown a lot in the last few years. I mean, compared to like 2015, and now it's a different world.
Yeah.
Of course, that first started in Austin, and now, of course, here in Miami, Vegas coming up later. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, I enjoy anyway being in the US, so it's good that we have a few races here. I also, people say, is it not too much, to have 3 races or whatever? But the country is so big, it's almost like Europe, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think it's quite. I think it's quite normal.
Yeah, Texas is bigger than France.
Yeah.
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 So and they're very different as well. Miami,
Right.
Austin, Vegas.
So speaking of that, when they unveil a new track, how long does it take you guys to learn the track on the simulator, or like feel comfortable with the track? Because I'd imagine that's a lot of your job, is like knowing exactly when you're pushing, when you're laying off, the turns and everything. How long is that process?
It depends a bit, right? Like, I mean, sometimes a different track gets to the calendar, which has been around for a while, but not in F1, for example. But I know the track from when I was a young kid playing already on a simulator or whatever.
Right.
But if it's a complete new track, which Miami last year, it just, it takes a few laps. I mean, first you go through an onboard or whatever of a previous simulator driver back at Red Bull, and he's been driving already to try and set up the car a bit for you. And it takes a few more laps than normal. But then again, also to judge like the grip levels and stuff, you have no idea, right? Until you actually get to the track. So it is always a bit more difficult than another track.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We saw Daniel Ricciardo at the Met Gala last week. You guys see the pictures of him talking to Anne Hathaway, being a big-time celebrity. Did you guys get an invitation to the Met?
I wasn't invited. I don't know if Max was.
No.
Would you?
I'm not the kind of guy to go to these kind of events.
Yeah, so you wouldn't go if you were
Wow.
invited, Checo. Would you go?
I wouldn't go either.
Okay.
I'll prefer to go and play golf.
Yeah. How's the golf game right now? How are you shooting? What's your scores?
Well, I played this morning, and I had a pretty good run. But I only played 6 holes because I was in a rush.
Yeah.
Pretty much just got a buggy.
Okay.
The rest was on par, so it went really well.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much a scratch golfer then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right around there. Right around par. That's good. That's fun.
Yeah, but that was my best run
You had a
in
hole
the
in one?
last. I wouldn't be here, mate, if I got one.
Have you ever had a hole in one?
No.
Oh, shit.
And I don't think I will ever get one.
What, Max?
Have you?
I haven't. I shot a
you?
I shot a 119 the other week, but I had 2 birdies.
Yeah.
Which is
That counts.
hard to do.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of. I'm really bad at golf.
Yeah.
190 with
I
2
mean, you
birdies.
guys are. I have no clue what you guys are talking
Yeah.
about.
Why don't you golf? You should golf.
It's-
Maybe.
What basically he says is that he's done 2 pole positions, but he has crashed pretty much. Okay, that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. You had
That's
two
it.
of the
It's a good
fastest
start.
laps, and then every other lap
He
was
just
a
put it
complete
on the
crash.
wall.
My car caught on fire. Yeah.
Right.
Max, you own a lion. Do you own a lion? I read a story that
No,
you own a lion.
Well, we kind of adopted a lion
That's
last
owning a
year,
lion.
and to Mick.
Okay.
That was this kind of was it the Christmas kind of presents you have to give to other drivers, right?
You gave
and you
someone
can
a lion?
adopt a lion. No, you can adopt a lion, and then he didn't get the actual lion. I mean, the lion is still walking around in the wild.
We need to find this lion.
You're taking care of the.
It's
But you
better.
own it. But you own it. This
No, that's your
around
lion. Yeah, no, wait. So what other gifts did you get? Because that's a pretty cool gift.
Well,
to be
I
"Here's
gave
a
it away.
lion."
I gave it away.
Okay.
I gave it to Mick.
Okay.
So yeah,
And
So Mick owns a lion.
lion.
kind of.
Do you get to visit the lion if you wanted to? Could you go find it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
should
would
find
I
that
would
Yeah.
lion.
visit that lion.
Should be.
Wait,
Yeah.
so you give gifts to other racers? Is that what
Well,
you
that
do?
was like this Christmas kind of thing we do at the end of the year from F1.
Basically,
and-
you are forced to.
Okay, so what did you guys get other people?
So I gave that to Mick, and I got an F1 cover with 3 times Charles in it. So
Okay.
Charles, of course, gifted that to me.
Wait, so you guys were basically playing Secret Santa, and you're
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm
the
getting
word.
someone a lion.
Secret Santa.
Exactly.
That's the
That's
word.
a
I was-
baller
That was
thing
what I
to
was
do.
looking for.
That's
What
it.
did you get?
I got sake from Yuki,
Okay.
and I gave some golf lessons to Albon.
Okay. But not a lion.
That's a
lion.
mean gift to give somebody is golf
Golf
lessons.
lessons?
Yeah.
You just basically wanted to give me
That
golf
wasn't my
lessons,
idea, though.
So
If you
play
ever
with
get
you.
me, do not give that to me.
Yeah.
Do you guys get each other gifts?
Well,
It's okay. Me and Big Cat don't give each
Yeah,
other
no,
gifts.
that's fine. That's fine.
We kiss
That's fine.
every year on our birthdays.
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's it.
we haven't done that yet.
You guys haven't kissed each other?
I don't think that will happen.
Bad
ever.
teammates.
Not
Do you
yet.
guys want
Not
it?
yet.
Do you want it? Just,
No, we're good. We're
you
good
don't
for
want
now.
it.
We're
Sorry,
good
that's
for
fine.
now.
That's fine.
You do it now?
Well,
Would you do it now in front of the or you shy
God damn
in front of the camera?
You're being
not
put.
really bad.
Yeah, you're
not
being put on the
it's not our
spot.
birthday. We do it.
You gotta wait for
We'll
the
send
birthday.
you a video on our birthday.
Okay.
Of us
Of us
kissing, yeah.
'Cause
It's
our
fine. You
birthdays-
don't. I don't want to see it.
We're going a day
either, so-
apart. So,
Don't send
yeah.
a video.
We kiss at midnight because I'm January 30th. He's January 31st. So
All right.
It's like a passing of the torch. You understand? If you guys had birthdays next to each other, you'd probably kiss.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe.
So
maybe.
so the start of this season, obviously you guys been in the news a lot. You guys are both, racing. You're free to race, competing against each other. I thought maybe we should do a team building exercise. I Googled team building exercise. So I just Googled how to build a team together. And I have a couple exercises we can do if you guys are down. You ready?
All right.
All right. So
Go on
this is
your
just to learn about each other. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
From anyone?
Anyone. This is just to learn about each other. And you guys are going to walk out of this being like, I love you, man. I love you, man.
Just push the right pedal.
Okay, that's a good piece of advice.
That's a good advice.
That's a
What
good
about
advice.
Stay with 2 feet on the ground.
Okay.
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 What's the most profound experience that you guys have ever had?
This is team building.
It could be-
We got to let ourselves be vulnerable.
Could
here.
be anything. It could be
Yeah.
seeing the Northern Lights. It could be whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think the most we've been together it was in Austria, where I drove you for like
Yeah,
8 hours.
I didn't
and
want
you
to
were
drive.
sitting and he was on on the side. I was driving the truck
Okay.
through the mountain and so on for
That
like.
was actually a good experience.
Look
That
at
day. I
this.
mean, it
For
was a
you.
long. It was
For
a
you.
long day.
Yeah.
Like we had to wake up super early. For that, you
Super
remember?
early,
My
yeah.
God! But it was
Good
yeah,
team building.
It was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
This is good. You
Yeah.
remember these moments.
I almost
together.
broke the
I will
gearbox.
never
You remember
forget.
on the track?
Yeah.
I locked the wheel.
Yeah. Like I remember one time when PFT threw up and I had to hold his hair back. Like, that's team building.
That's how you build
That's
closeness.
how you build a team.
closeness. Yeah. All right. Next
So
one.
what did you learn from that experience?
What did we learn?
That I can't handle my milk.
Yeah.
I
and then I'll
thought,
always be
to
there
cut
for
your
him.
hair.
Oh yeah.
So you don't need to hold his hair.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Also, don't drink a gallon of milk and try to run. But that's a different story. How do you most like to be recognized or thanked for your contributions? So when you do something, how do you like people to be like, great job? How do you like that? Because maybe we can start doing it to each other, right?
Well,
Good
just
job.
just being yourself and honest.
Yeah, but so Checo wins. Checo, what would you like Max to say to you if you win a race?
You are amazing, Checo. I mean, what you've
Chapo.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Chapo,
beautiful.
you've done it.
Okay, so Max, you win a race. What would you like Checo to say to you? This is good. I feel like we're making a breakthrough. I really do.
We're getting there, right?
Yeah, this is
No,
the
I
hard
think
stuff.
in the most Mexican way, you have to approach me.
Okay.
Just
Like,
I don't know, like with the accent, the full-on Mexican.
hey man.
Good win. Yeah, it's good.
High five.
Yeah,
And
I
then
like
we can't high five. We just keep missing each other.
that. Yeah, let's start high fiving each other.
Do you guys have a handshake that you do together, like a?
I
teammate
think it's just
handshake?
a normal,
When was the last
it's not
time
very
you guys
complicated.
high-fived?
Well, last week.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
Did
Well-
you feel it though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
High five right now. Let's see it.
That
That was
good.
pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay, all right. That felt good.
We're getting used to it, when you're always on the podium together.
Yeah, yeah.
You can
high
practice
five.
a lot.
Yeah.
The next one here is I want you guys to tell each other what's one quality in each other that you appreciate. What's it, so Checo, what's your favorite thing about Max as a person?
He's a good loser, I'll say. Like
Oh, okay, all right. That's
when-
good. All right.
No,
Okay,
I
okay,
know
we're going a
honestly,
little
like,
off the rails here.
when
Yep.
he, no, wait, like when you have, he has a fame of a bad loser.
Yeah.
But honestly, whenever I beat him, he's like, he really like, well done. And it's not very normal in Formula One to have that sort of teammate.
That's
that
actually
he-
a good answer.
Okay,
He
Yeah.
really comes and, you well done, mate. Like,
rooting for each other.
and you can see that he feels it, and that's, I appreciate that.
And Max, you with Checo?
Yes, I wanted to say just the family man Checo.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, people are always so focused, on their F1 career, and that's their only sole goal, to try and achieve. And it always feels like if you don't achieve not what you want in F1, your life is like over or whatever. It's you get these kind of like impressions, but I do like how Checo handles everything and how he sees F1 world, but also it's important to have good family life, and that's probably way more important than whatever you do in F1 anyway.
Perspective.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, this last one might be a little tricky, but we're going to give it a try, okay? Because I feel like we're getting somewhere. The last one that the team building, when I Googled it, it said, look into your teammates' eyes for 60 seconds without taking away the gaze. So you guys are going to look in each other's eyes.
For 60 seconds.
Yeah, I have the timer right here, and we'll just narrate, but you guys just stare at each other, okay?
And we are not allowed to...
No,
kiss.
Can't
No.
break.
Can't
No,
kiss.
you can't kiss. You're right.
You're gonna want to. You're gonna want to
You're
kiss,
gonna
but you
want
can't.
But yeah, all right, you ready to go? All right, look each other's eyes. Here we go. Time. All right, so they're looking at each other. This is good.
It does look good.
Do you feel like your souls are
Yeah,
connecting?
I'm really feeling it.
Yeah, this is good.
Really.
Max,
to
you
guy,
feeling
just
this?
Very intense.
Oh no!
Oh,
Checo, you looked away.
I
Sorry.
might have to restart. We may never get out of here. All right. Oh,
Max-
Max just kind of looked away a little too.
Max has really quick eyes. Did you see
Stay
that?
locked in. You got 40 more seconds, guys. This is. You feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, I feel the love in this room right
Yeah.
now.
I feel like you guys are finally connecting. Like you haven't looked at each other's eyes. Ooh, a little sigh. That was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're starting to mirror each other's
Yeah.
body language too. You're nodding a little bit.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that you guys can kiss if you want to. That's fine.
That's
We're gonna-
fine.
Okay. All right. They're saying no. 20
They're
seconds.
such good teammates. They know, like, hey, I don't want to kiss you.
Yeah,
I
right.
also don't want to kiss.
Right. All right. This feels good. Like
This
you
is
just
beautiful.
look at each other. Yep. No
This
laughing.
is so good.
I feel the bond is getting stronger. We got they
Double
went
thumbs
thumbs
up.
up on each other. That was just to remind each other they're good. And time.
That was great.
How'd that feel?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I really felt it.
Okay.
Do you guys feel closer?
Yeah.
We
Really
were
good.
already that close. It can't even get closer.
It can't get any
No.
closer. It can always get closer.
No.
Right?
We're gonna
No,
have
no.
we're gonna have to build. We're gonna
It
have
cannot
to
get closer already. I mean,
we're gonna have to build
Jesus.
Christian Horner for all the things we've done for the Team Red Bull here.
Therapists.
Because this
yeah.
feels
Yeah,
like
this is,
you guys are.
it was a
what
great
was that
therapy.
like on Google? Like team building?
Yeah, it was literally the
101?
first thing. Yeah. I mean, it was trust falls too, but I don't really want to do a trust fall. But yeah, it was the most generic like icebreaker thing you do like in a corporate America, and we did
This.
it. Yeah, what we just
yeah?
did. Yeah, we did it, and I feel like you guys are as close as you ever been.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, serious F1 question. Do you think that Formula One is trying to nerf the Red Bull team? Are they trying to make you guys slower with the DRS stuff? Are they out to get you?
No. Well, no. I think so far it's been all right. I mean, thing is natural, when one team is ahead that people start looking into things. But for the moment, I think it's all right. I mean, we've had it before as well where, other teams have been dominating. And then at one point, of course, there are rule changes and things get upset a bit. But that's how Formula One goes,
Yeah. So Miami last year, there was a famous clip because we had one of the guys on the broadcast going around interviewing famous people. He was getting a bunch of them wrong because they were like American sports stars. Have you guys met anyone in America that you didn't know who it was, and then afterwards they're like, hey, that was someone pretty important?
Chuck Leclerc.
Okay.
You know Chuck?
Yeah. Charles Leclerc. Yeah. So you met him? Yeah, Chuck.
Chuck. I didn't know who Chuck was. and then I found out it was Charles.
But have you guys met like any big time sports stars and stuff? Because it was very funny watching it when he would just go up. I think he walked past Patrick Mahomes or something.
Yeah, he went up to Paulo Banchero, the
Yeah.
basketball player, and said, "This is Patrick Mahomes."
Yeah, and it was like that couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah,
So has
that's
that
the guy.
happened to you guys now that you're getting bigger in America, where you've met someone?
I mean, at that time, especially on the grid, you see all these famous and all these cameras, but it's like you are just thinking about
You're
it.
focused.
It's
yeah.
like proper tunnel vision.
Yeah.
You don't look left or
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think it's more or less same for any sport. Like if you are the one who has to play or drive or whatever, like you just pretty focus on what you have to do, especially when it's that crowded. I I mean, it would be a bit like before you walk onto the pitch, right? If there are like fans just walking around,
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, it's a bit weird. Of course, we grew up like that, but at one point when it gets so crowded, you're like, whatever.
Yeah, what's
just
going
do your
on?
thing. We are just busy and focus with our engineer to go through all the things before you even do the start, right? So you're pretty isolated in a way as well.
Who is your favorite American?
Ooh.
My favorite American.
Anyone in this room can be picked too. Anyone in this room?
Tough question.
Yeah, anyone in
There's
this room.
300 million of us.
Americans in this room? I'm looking around. Okay.
Favorite American? I don't know. I don't have a favorite.
Daniel Ricciardo.
He's an import. He's an import American.
I really felt like he really made it now to the
That's
the
a
US.
perfect answer. Yeah. It was at the Met Gala. Yeah.
That's great. He does wish he was American.
Yeah,
He really,
I
does.
really think.
The howdy hats, all that stuff.
He
When
loves
he
it
arrived
all.
on a horse in the paddock.
So back to the start when all those fans are on the track and then they get off and then you're ready to start. How, like, the seconds before you start, is your mind completely blank? Like, I have to just nail this start, and do you know right away, like, oh, I missed that by a split second, or oh, that was an incredible start, I hit it.
Yeah, well,
100
you
times.
feel straight away if it's a good one or a bad one.
Really? Yeah.
As soon as you release like the clutch, it's either wheel spin or it just accelerates. You know,
Right.
so I think last year was okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you had a good.
yeah, it was all right. I mean, I'd start P3, but you know, also on a new track, like it's the first time you're gonna do a start into turn one. Like there are a lot of things you don't really know about as well. So yeah, it's a bit more exciting, I guess.
And then what about, like, if you guys, you know, sometimes there'll be crashes, sometimes there'll be things that you think someone else is doing something dangerous to you or vice versa. After the race, do you ever go up and talk to those guys? And
You
be
didn't
like,
saw the last race, the last sprint race?
No. What
Okay.
happened?
You should watch it.
Okay.
The end of it.
Nothing happened.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens after that? Do you go and talk to the guy?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, it depends, of course, how bad, or if you really want to say something or question. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a word with one of the other drivers
Okay.
after the race.
And is it like
But it doesn't get like, because in NASCAR, like they
fist fight? Yeah.
they properly fight.
Yeah.
I'm in the
In
wrong
front-
sport.
Yeah.
Would you like to fight other drivers?
No, honestly, I'm joking.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna say that, it's gonna be all over the.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
No, we-
sometimes
we-
of course you see that in NASCAR, right? They're a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
It's not allowed. I mean, even if you grab someone like that, you get already 2 days of homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that already, so.
Yeah.
So they measure everything that happens on the track. They measure everything about the car. They measure everything about drivers' reaction time. There's so much that you have to look through. Is there ever, like, how do you sort what's important to pay attention to and what needs to be improved versus all the other numbers and data that's coming at you that doesn't really make a difference to you on a day-to-day basis?
You go on this one, Max.
Can you repeat that one?
It seems like they measure everything about, like, everything's tracked
Yeah.
in every single
Yeah.
race that you do. But that's like too much information for you to
No,
have
I
to...
think I got the question. I think at the end of the day we have so much information to look through with the engineers and so on. You know, we have information about the gearbox, about the engine, about the tires, about the brakes. But at the end of the day, there is so much the driver can control, and I find it useful that you just focus on things that you can change or that you can influence. Because if you try to focus on so many things, at the end of the day, it just becomes so much. And there are drivers that can have the more stuff than others, and it's just down to you to feel what you're able to filter.
Yeah. So off that, you guys are driving the car. You know the car better than the engineers. Are there times when you're like, hey, change this, and they say, no, we're not going to because we've planned this out? Like, who gets final say when it comes to the modifications of the car?
Well, I think if you really, really want to, then you put whatever you want on the car, but it's also a working relationship, right? So, I mean, if you really force sometimes things through, maybe your engineer is not entirely happy with the people around you. So it's also sometimes a bit of a 50-50 scenario where you have to find a compromise, right? Where sometimes they come up with something and you come up with something which might be a little bit different. And you're like, oh, should we go in the middle? Or, you know, so you just have to work together. That's why it's a team sport at the end of the day. And I mean, to just head first go into things and force things on the car is not always, I think, the right way to go.
Yeah.
I have a really dumb question. This is maybe dumber than the other ones that we've asked.
Another one.
Yeah, I have another one.
We're really good at asking dumb questions.
Are you better at turning left or turning right?
Ooh, good question. Tough.
I mean, I think in the circuit you have turns where you just they come more natural to you than others. You know, because you look at the data, at the telemetry, and you say, oh, I'm looking good at turn 1, turn 2, but then I'm missing to max on turn 9. And you have to focus on turn 9. But normally it doesn't really matter if it's left or right.
Right.
Normally not. No. I mean, you do have a leading eye, which I do think has an influence on things. But I think it's more the shape of corners. It doesn't really matter if it's left or right. It's like just the speed or the angle, the degrees.
It's actually a good question.
Yeah.
Because they might track that. You might be just like slightly better at one direction because, like you said, the leading eye thing and also being right or left-handed might have like the tiniest bit. What does that mean though? A leading eye?
Well, I do feel. Well, I mean, you can see it, right? If you already put your hand in front of your eyes, like there is a bit of a difference. So you always see a bit better through one eye, and I feel like sometimes you can look around the corner a bit better if it's, for me, to the right than a left-hand corner. But it's more like with some kind of like reaction stuff, or when you're looking, you have to look straight, but then you have to touch bits on the left or the right. It can have a bit of an influence as well. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe in F1 it's not as big, but
Okay, so last question. You guys have been great. It's great having you on. Good luck with the rest of the season. Can we get one last high five? I just want to see it one more time, just so people can see
how
it.
much it developed the team
like
building.
have we gotten better? So let's go a high five. Oh no!
It got worse.
Oh, it's failed.
You can tell you're
That
a golfer
trust-
because you didn't
it
connect
failed.
on a high
I
five.
think it didn't work.
Yeah, we got to end with look.
didn't
We got to
work.
end with a high five. Look, bam. See
that's
that?
good.
Come on, you guys high five. Let's see the trust. Yes.
Okay,
It
beautiful.
feels like we got something accomplished here. So thank you guys.
You
Best
gotta
of
tell
luck.
Christian.
Yes. Yeah. No, we're gonna bill him $2 billion for what we've done today. Yeah.
Not bad. That's a good start.
Yeah. Yes.
Good
yes.
luck. If you get $200, you've done a good job.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, we now welcome on one of our favorite recurring guests, probably the longest running thing that we do on the calendar. It's true. Randy Moss for the Kentucky Derby. It is time. You can see him on NBC. He's going to be doing the Oaks on Friday. He's got the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. It's a great weekend for horse racing. Randy, let's start big picture. How are we feeling about the track, weather, just general vibe for this year's Kentucky Derby?
Well, it's Derby week, so you know it's going to rain. I think it's supposed to rain Friday for the Oaks, and the weathermen are there's as bad handicappers as the rest of us. But what they say is that by the time we get to Saturday, it's going to be okay. And I mean, Big Cat from the past, the racetrack at Churchill is so fast drying that it ought to be, if they're right, then it ought to be a pretty good track Saturday. But it's looking good. The horses are all seem to be training pretty well, and the place looks good. They're redoing the paddock, and they have a whole new grandstand area on the first turn that looks almost space age. It looks like Arlington Park. It's really nice. So yeah, all systems go.
I'd love to make it to the Kentucky Derby at some point. That's on my bucket list of events. I can't believe I haven't been there yet, but it seems like the most fun ever. I'm sure you still have a great time after you've been going for a really long time. It's still probably one of the best weekends of your year. I haven't been paying that much attention to the storylines leading up to this year's Derby. So really all I know going into this Derby, I think is this the last year? Like Bob Baffert's not allowed to be training any horses in this race, right? Besides that, maybe we can get back to that later. Besides that, what are the big storylines in this year's race?
Well, there's a lot of them as always. And by the way, before you come to the Derby for the first time, go onto YouTube or Amazon or the internet and look up Hunter S. Thompson Kentucky Derby. Just Google that and read what the Louisville native Hunter S. Thompson has to say about the Kentucky Derby, and you'll be laughing for a week.
That was my intro into the Kentucky Derby. The Kentucky Derby is decadent and depraved. One of the best stories of all time.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, you beat me to it there. You already did. Storylines. Other than the Baffert storyline, I think probably the number one storyline in this year's race is going to be the two Japanese horses in the race, because Japanese horses, guys, are absolutely kicking ass worldwide. It's happened in Saudi Arabia, where they dominate. It's happened in Dubai, where this year in the UAE Derby, they ran 1, 2, 3, 4. They won the Dubai World Cup. The number one rated horse in the world is a Japanese turf horse. They won at the Breeders' Cup here the last time they had runners. They had 2 winners, including one that looked like she had absolutely no chance at all. They've won in Australia. Wherever they go, the Japanese horses right now they look like the best horses in the world. And it got to the point that in the Santa Anita Derby this year, they shipped a horse from Japan that ran at a B-level racetrack in Japan, a horse called Mandarin Hero. And he got beat that far in the Santa Anita Derby. So there are 2 horses in the Japanese horses in the Derby this year. One of them is my pick to win the Derby. He's probably going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1. His name is Derma Sotogake.
Mm-hmm.
And in my eyes, not only do you have the Japanese dominance right now, but to me, he looks like the fastest horse in the race. So I think it's, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yep. Yeah. So, and I think you said it last year, maybe it was a private conversation, but the Japanese horse racing has had a boom recently. But isn't it, and I might have this wrong, but it all goes back to, is it Seattle Slew? What was the horse that basically was the start, the come of that horse, for lack of a better term, was the start of all these Japanese horses, and now they're, generations down the line, and it's all starting to become this like huge thing.
Yeah, you got the right story. The horse was Sunday Silence.
That's right.
Who won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness and the Breeders' Cup Classic in 1989. When he retired to stud, none of the American breeders were excited about him at all. They didn't really want to breed to him. So the owner of the horse, Arthur Hancock from Kentucky, got this fantastic offer from the Japanese, and he needed the money to save the farm. The farm was in some financial difficulty because there was an economic downturn. So he sold Sunday Silence against really his best wishes to the Japanese. And Sunday Silence became one of, if not the most influential sires in the world. And almost all of these Japanese horses, including the 2 that we'll see in the Derby, trace back in their pedigree 2, 3 generations back to Sunday Silence. He's been the bedrock of this Japanese resurgence in horse racing.
Yeah, it's fascinating that it all goes back to Sunday Silence. Yeah.
Do the horses care about time zones? Do you have to get the Japanese horses in ahead of time? Because I mean, if you just ship a horse over from Japan, I have to imagine like it is halfway around the world. Day is night, night is day.
Yeah. That's the only conceivable drawback to this horse running in the Kentucky Derby and his chances to win is travel. That's what people will cite if they say they don't like Derma Sotogake, because he went obviously from Japan to Saudi Arabia, and he ran in the big Saudi race for 3-year-olds, and then he went from Saudi to Dubai, which is just a puddle jump, and he won the UAE Derby by 5.5 lengths or something like that, and then from Dubai to the United States. But he's been here for quite a while. He's had a chance to acclimate in the flesh. He looks great. Hasn't lost any weight. His workouts have been really good. Really nice looking horse. And so, I'm going to try not to get too deep into the weeds on the travel and just trust the Japanese, because they certainly know, they've proven that they know how to travel with their horses and succeed.
Yeah. So, Derma Sotogake, which will probably take some money because of what you said, Japanese horses, the UA Derby, everything. Forte is the favorite, 3 to 1 right now. Where do you think the price is going to land with the favorite? Is it going to be a horse that is like, is Forte a horse that is that much better than everyone else, that everyone's going to wake up and the casual bettors are going to get in on it? Or is this something that maybe it goes, maybe 3 to 1, it goes 4 to 1?
Yeah, I think the latter. I think it goes 7 to 2, 4 to 1. There's not a lot of love right now from some of the big bettors out there for Forte, and it's not just because he's the favorite and they're trying to beat the favorite. He's the most accomplished horse in the race. He was the 2-year-old champion last year. He won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's only been beaten once in his career. But his win last time out in the Florida Derby was not visually the type of race that you would like to see if you're going to bet a Kentucky Derby favorite. He looked like it left, to me and a lot of people, it left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
So I think Forte is definitely a favorite to try to take a stand against. And another reason to like the Japanese horse is that the American 3-year-olds this year, they're okay. I wouldn't say they're bad, but it's a pretty average group right now on paper.
I think we ask this question every year, but who's the wild card horse? Like the Draymond Green of horses that will, liable to freak out, maybe cause a ruckus when they first get started, but ultimately could be a horse that could make some noise.
Tappet Trice is his name.
Okay.
And he's actually going to be the second favorite in the race, but he comes from the same barn as Forte. Todd Pletcher's the trainer. Tappet Trice is a horse that's got just a world of talent, but he doesn't like the starting gate. He breaks slowly from the starting gate in most all of his races. He doesn't like to run inside of horses. He gets kind of claustrophobic. When horses start to come over on him, he kind of freaks out a little bit. He doesn't necessarily like dirt hitting him in the face, and he's in a 20-horse field.
It's tough business to be in.
He doesn't. He's not the kind of horse that can get stopped in traffic and then pick it right back up again. It takes him a while. He's like a locomotive that, when he gets rolling, he can really roll. But it takes him a while to get going, and he's not a stop and start kind of horse to go through traffic. So all of those things are going to work against him in a 20-horse field. But they'll try to get him wide, so he's outside and he's out of all the kickback, and he doesn't have to stop and start. And if he doesn't get caught too wide, if he doesn't lose too much ground, he can really run.
So this race feels like won't be one of those Kentucky Derbies where this pace is insane right to start. Who does that favor? Right. So it's going to be a little bit slower to start, not one of those ones where it's like, holy shit, they're going so fast. Which horses in the field does that favor, knowing that the pace probably won't be blistering right out of the gate?
Number one on the top of that list is Derma Sotogake, who went wire to wire in the UAE Derby, but he doesn't have to be in front. It was the only time in his life he's ever actually gone to the early lead. So he's versatile. He's adaptable. He can go either way, but he'll be really close. The other horse is a horse called Verifying, who didn't get the best draw. He's in post position number 2, but he's got some early speed as well. Those are the two horses I think that are going to be favored the most, it looks like, by what the pace is going to be. And with the Japanese horse, guys, the one thing I'm worried about, the main thing I'm worried about, and I don't ordinarily put a whole lot of stock in the jockeys, because when you get to the Kentucky Derby, this level, the jockeys, there's not a lot of difference between your Irad Ortizes and, your Flavian Pratts, and you can just pick them out of a hat. It really doesn't make much difference. But Derma Sotogake is ridden by a Frenchman named Christophe Lemaire, who has relocated to Japan, and he's one of the leading riders in Japan. Not all that familiar with American dirt racing. And last year, he had him out in the Kentucky Derby on another Japanese horse called Crown Pride, who was also the UAE Derby winner. Didn't look as good as Derma Sotogake, but he wasn't a bad horse. He left the starting gate like he was in a quarter horse race. Christophe Lemaire was almost in a drive out of the starting gate. And he hooked up with another foreign jockey on a horse called Summer is Tomorrow. And they went the first quarter mile in a sprint time, 21 3/5 seconds. It was the fastest opening quarter mile in the history of the Kentucky Derby. So hopefully Christophe Lemaire has learned something from his last year's mount in the Kentucky Derby, which was his last American dirt race, by the way. And he won't ride Derma Sotogake the same way that he rode Crown Pride. Fingers crossed.
So speaking of that, last year's race obviously was a memorable one because of Rich Strike at 80-1. You know how gambling works. People will take that from last year and be like, well, it's going to happen again. Let's find the long shot on the board. So yeah. I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but if you had to pick a horse that was 30-1 or more that has, hey, this could be another magical ride, which horse would it be?
Probably a horse named Hit Show. who was second in the Wood Memorial. The Wood Memorial is not going to get a lot of love because it's a race that's really kind of fallen on hard times as a effective Kentucky Derby prep race. This year was kind of a slow running as well. It's kind of messy race, 3 horses at the wire together, bumping and grinding. But Hit Show, I think, is going to get a little bit overlooked because of that. He's trained by Brad Cox. He's got 4 horses in the Derby. Brad's one of the very best trainers in the business. He's on a real roll right now. And I think Hit Show would be the most likely, big long shot to win.
And now
he's not 80-1 like Rich Strike.
Yeah. And now Hit Show's on the rail, and we've learned that the gate has changed. They changed the gate a few years ago. Has it made the rail a lot better? Has it changed it to a point where the rail is not something people should be afraid of like years past the Kentucky Derby?
First of all, my opinion, and it happens to be a minority opinion, but I can back it up with statistics. The rail was never as bad as people like to make it out to be.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, if you go back 30 years in the Kentucky Derby, on average, horses breaking from the number 1 post position outran their odds. Now, there were certain horses who, with the running style, that could be disadvantaged by having the rail, but most of the time, racing on the inside is the shortest way around, and it actually could benefit a horse. But yes, one of the big disadvantages in the old way, in the old starting gate at Churchill Downs, they used 2 starting gates, right? They didn't have one huge 20-horse starting gate. They had 2 14-horse gates that they sort of put end to end, or maybe a 14 and a 10, I think it was. And as a result, the horse that broke from the rail, in order to fit both gates onto the racetrack, when they left the gate, the horse was looking right into the bend of the rail as it turned down the stretch. So the jockeys would have to maneuver out around that bend in the rail, and it could cause some issues. Now with the new starting gate at Churchill Downs, it's a 1 20-horse gate, so it's not as wide, and the number 1 post position no longer has that disadvantage. They can run a straight line and not have to worry about it.
Interesting. All right, so back to Bob Baffert. It's his last year suspended from the Kentucky Derby, but he's in litigation, right? So he's kind of like taking his time on this. Maybe I'm not well read enough on the story, but the way I've read it is that he's kind of extended his own issues with the Derby by taking this whole thing to court and exhausting all of his legal options. But is this the last year that he will be suspended from the Derby?
Yes, this is the last year that Baffert will be suspended from the Derby. Look, there is certainly no love lost between Churchill Downs and Bob Baffert. And as soon as they handed down a 2-year suspension, it was guaranteed, or a 2-year ban, it was guaranteed that there was going to be no love lost between them. Baffert has fought everything in court that he could possibly fight. And so far, even in the cases that it looked like he might have a chance, to at least get, some sort of relief, he's been shot down every time by the Kentucky court system. It's gotten to the point where if you go to Bob's old barn at Churchill Downs, which used to be covered with signs, about Bob's previous 6 Derby winners, and it was like a shrine to the Baffert stable. It was tastefully done, but it was his barn. It was Bob's barn, and it stayed there year round, and it was like a tourist attraction. You can't find any trace of Bob Baffert on the Churchill Downs backstretch. They've pretty much whitewashed Bob Baffert from the history of the Kentucky Derby, at least visually when you come to the track and go to the backside. So, yeah, there's a lot of animosity, I think, between Baffert and Churchill Downs, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out when he's back at Churchill Downs, almost certainly with some high-level horses next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple last questions. Always great to see you, Randy. It's like I just love this stretch when we have all the playoffs and then Kentucky Derby comes and we get to see your face and it's like it's all happening. All right, I want to talk about the Oaks in a second, but give us one last thing on the Kentucky Derby. I love playing exotics. I love building just ridiculous tickets. What horse should I have added that is like, hey, they might not be there, but they're a great finisher, and if you're trying to hit a try, like you probably want to have them as part of it?
If you're looking for a big long shot to throw into the try other than Hit Show, I would say a horse called Disarm. Who's going to be a stretch runner who's doing really well? There's not a lot of speed in the race on paper, so that's not going to help him. We talked about that. But my exacta right now is Dermis Sotogake and a horse called Verifying. We talked about those two as being the ones that could benefit the most from the pace. And while you're betting, bring a little extra money because the race before the Kentucky Derby,
Okay.
it's a race called the Old Forester Turf Classic. It's 1 1/8 on the grass, right? There's a horse in the race called Up to the Mark that I am really excited to bet on. He's trained by Todd Pletcher. Love all of his recent races. He might not even be the favorite, probably be second choice, but he's a horse you can bet on in the race before the Derby, and then maybe you can have a little bit more ammunition, right, when it gets to the Derby race itself.
Okay, I like it. Now, what about Oaks? Do you have a pick for us in the Oaks?
It's kind of a bad Oaks, honestly. It really is. It's a pretty lackluster group of horses. To me, it's going to be hard to beat the favorite. The favorite's name is Wet Paint. She's a horse that's won, I think, 3 races in a row, all at Oaklawn Park. Comes from last, which is pretty unusual for a horse to be that consistently a winner on dirt with that kind of running style. 2 of her races have been on wet racetracks. So if the weatherman is right and it rains on Friday, that might even move her up. And there was another horse in the race called South Lawn, one word, who's also really in good form right now. So it's nothing, I'm not telling you anything that a lot of other people couldn't get out of the racing form, but I like a Wet Paint South Lawn exact.
Okay.
Wet Paint. I feel like that's a name that there has to have been another horse named Wet Paint before, right?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't look it up. It's
they-
owned by Godolphin, right?
they-
So Godolphin is Sheikh Mohammed, the ruler of Dubai.
Yeah.
And sometimes he names all these horses like with Arabic names that are hard to pronounce and nobody knows what they actually mean. But Wet Paint
Yeah.
for this one.
I
How
feel
about
like I feel like there should be somebody should be keeping track of that. Make sure that we don't have any duplicate named horses.
Yeah.
Also, do you know?
Oh, they
legally-
do. They do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very strict rules about the reuse of names. There has to be a certain waiting period. If a horse is really good and like a standing at stud or a brood mare or major stakes winner, that name gets thrown out and you can't use it anymore. Like there'll never be another Seattle Slew or Affirmed,
Yeah.
or Sunday Silence for that matter. So
Yeah.
yeah, they keep pretty close tabs on it.
Back question, RHOBACK.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, and shorts. Shorts for the summer. Go to Rhoback.com. Use promo code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Most comfortable clothes out there. The last thing I had, and this is more of a horse racing as a sport in general, and I don't know what you can do. You're a powerful man. Maybe you can talk to someone. I was at the Breeders this past fall. Flightline, I'll say it was the best horse I've ever seen. Was incredible,
Yeah.
and I got to see American Pharoah at the Breeders as well. There should be a rule that you have to race a certain amount of races, because what happened is I think a lot of people tuned in and like just anecdotally, like friends hitting me up being like, this horse is incredible. Why is it not racing anymore? It's like, well, it makes so much more money going to stud than continuing to race. But Flightline was that type of horse that you saw and it took your breath away. And raced 4 races? Like every single race was the same thing of like, oh my God, I can't believe how good this horse is. Can we change this? Can we fix this? They have to race again?
It's money. You said it. Horses can make way more money, like Flightline, that good, way more money at stud than they can ever hope to make on the racetrack. It could be changed, Big Cat, but there's only one way to do it. And it would have to be done worldwide, not just in the United States. But it would benefit every country, really.
Right.
And the breeders would fight it because of the money involved. But here it is, and I've been saying this for years. A rule in the book that says that no horse can race, okay, unless the stallion and the dam were at least 5 years old at the time of conception.
Put in, yeah.
Which means horses would have to stay in training throughout they couldn't just retire at the end of their 3-year-old year. They would have to stay in training as a 4-year-old. Now with Flightline,
It was older,
it
yeah.
wouldn't have made a difference with Flightline because he was already 4. He had some injuries early in his career and some setbacks that had put him behind schedule. and that's why he had only run so few times. So it wouldn't necessarily have resulted in Flightline staying, but there are a lot of really, like American Pharoah,
Yeah.
a lot of really good horses that get retired after their 3-year-old season because the money is so overwhelming. It's stud. Look at Flightline, right? I think they retired him as stud for a $200,000 stud fee.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
they could breed Flightline easily, conservatively, to 150 mares.
Whoa.
Okay, that's $30 million the first year for Flightline. So horses typically have breed 3 different years, really 2, before you see their offspring, and breeders have a chance to look at the babies and see how good they look and all that. So that's a guaranteed 60 mil
It's crazy.
before you ever know how good the babies look, and 90 mil before you ever see them run.
It's nuts.
So the money is absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah.
But the only way to change it would be something like I said.
And it would feel like more of a long play if people could get together, because again, it's like people, it's similar to sports. You root for the teams that the players if you have these horses that are exceptional, and if American Pharoah keeps racing after the breeders after retired, like, people will tune in because like, oh, I know that name. So I don't know. It's a bummer sometimes when you see a horse like that, and like you said, Flightline was already old enough, but when you see a horse like that, you're like, all I want to do is see this horse run again. Like, I want to see this horse run and race.
Yeah.
I don't care about the $30 million just going in someone's pocket. But I know that's not how the world works.
You just hit on the single biggest problem in horse racing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. The early retirement of the superstars.
You know what they call that when horses take time off from racing so they can just breed all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Load management.
Load management. Yep. Yeah. Was Flightline one of the best horses you ever saw?
Yes. Yeah. Secretariat was the best story. I didn't see him in the flesh. I watched him as a kid on TV. The 3 best, or I'd say 4, the 4 best horses that I've since I've been around following it were Secretariat, Flightline, Spectacular Bid, and American Pharoah.
Damn, I got to see 2 of them at the breeders. I feel fortunate.
I would put them in that order.
Wow.
And I know some people think it's heresy to say that Flightline was better than American Pharoah, because American Pharoah was obviously a really good horse, but I just think that the Flightline was better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the beauty of horse racing is you can say, like, if Secretariat was in this Kentucky Derby, they would dust him, right? Secretariat would be the favorite.
Because Secretariat, when he won the Kentucky Derby, he had to beat a horse who would have won the Triple Crown any other year.
Yeah.
Right.
The horse's name was Sham. And to this day, Sham has run the 2nd fastest Kentucky Derby in history.
That's crazy.
Sham got a real raw deal.
Yeah.
Yes, Sham got an extremely raw deal. Yeah.
Remember
He's one of
Sham.
the best horses that nobody considers to be an all-time great.
That's tough. Tough break.
All right. Well, Randy, thank you as always. You are the best. We appreciate it. Good luck. Everyone tune in. See him on Friday and Saturday. And we got to talk before the Preakness.
All right. Whenever, guys. Love watching you. Keep it up.
Thanks, Randy. Randy Moss is brought to you by our good friends at Duracell. This episode is brought to you by Duracell. I love Duracell. I put Duracell batteries in everything that I own. Every remote in my house, strictly Duracell, the copper top, baby. That's all you need to know. If you're shopping for batteries, get Duracell. Few sports are more technically demanding than auto racing. Because of those standards, Williams Racing only trusts one brand of disposable batteries. That's Duracell. You may not think you need the same batteries that help power Williams Racing until you do. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until your battery runs out. If you have a different brand of battery, go change it out. I'm telling you, change it out midstream. Put in a Duracell. It'll last much, much longer. Duracell is engineered for more and a proud partner of Williams Racing and of Pardon My Take. There's more to come also with PMT's partnership with Duracell. And tell you what, if you tweet us a picture of you getting rid of your old batteries, putting Duracells in, we'll retweet some of those. We'll amplify that message. That's how much we believe in it. I personally only use Duracell batteries. They last the longest. With Duracell batteries, your remote's going to last for forever. Forever. I don't know if I can say that, but it's going to last a long time. It's going to feel like forever. Learn more at Duracell.com. Duracell.com, Duracell.com.
Okay, thank you to Duracell sponsoring the whole show. We're gonna do Fyre Fest of the week. Hank,
Dan.
go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I think part of it, not to throw blame around, but I think a lot of it might be your fault and your propaganda machine talking about how much I golf, because I just started golfing, a couple of years ago. But
where's this going?
we
You
put
golf-
out
you golf
our
all the
we
time.
put out
What
our
are you doing tomorrow?
our I'm going golf.
Oh no!
Shout out to Yandel Sonk. We put out our golf video. It's on YouTube now. Me and Big Cat versus PFT and Arian, and the response is overwhelmingly negative. People were just roasting my golf game. I'm a little bit, vulnerable.
think I did that to you?
I think you have. I think your over exaggeration of how much I golf has created this narrative that people
What?
expected me to be better than I am. I guess I don't know.
I think we talk about you golfing the exact correct amount that you golf.
Correct.
Have we ever said that you're going golfing when you're not actually going golfing?
So, all right. So we filmed this video. We actually did 2 videos. So the other one's gonna be out on Macrodosing today at noon. So go check it out, Macrodosing YouTube. So we played these 2 golf videos. What did you do after?
Well, I had a flight because I had a
Right.
trip.
So, okay.
It's
So,
vacation.
so
Okay.
what did you do before you got on your flight?
Well, I had hours. I had a lot
Just
of
answer
time.
the question. What'd you do?
I stuck around
And you,
at the golf course.
What'd you do at
Okay.
the golf course?
I mean, there's nothing else to do. I had to golf.
and then when you flew to your vacation, what'd you do on your vacation?
I hung out with my family and my niece and nephew who I'd never
And-
met before and spent quality family time. And then
And-
one day went golfing.
Just
2
one
days.
day?
Well, one day
Okay.
with my
Okay.
brother.
Okay.
One day with my brother, so that counts as family time.
And then the other day you played 36?
No, 18. I played 36 the whole week.
What I love is I get notifications every time Hank plays
This is
golf.
bad. I've had to thought about.
So pull it up and see how many rounds he's
yeah.
played.
I've thought
Actually,
about,
let's
I've thought
check it
about
out.
blocking PFT on
Let's
here.
check it out.
How many rounds has he played?
What I'll do is I'll just text Hank after he's on his first hole. Be like, "That's a tough triple bogey."
I
let's
want to be on this.
let's
But
fact
listen, I'm
check
trying
this.
to get no. This is like when Dave used to have my Snapchat and I didn't realize it and I had to block him on there. In
Let's
like
see. Where do I
2013.
even find my friends on this? Okay, here we go.
So what's the problem? You golf a lot.
You have a 20.5 handicap. Is that good?
I think that's decent. That's the thing. I don't think I'm that good at golf. The problem is that everyone is being really mean to me and saying how bad I am at golf when I have never myself said that I'm good.
Okay,
That is my
Can
Fyre
I-
Fest. That is where this issue lies. Is people I think were expecting unfairly me to be really
Can
good
I-
at golf, despite the fact that I have never said that I am.
Can I
myself.
throw out just a thought?
Yes.
Just a thought.
I need to golf more to get better.
No,
I agree.
no. You watch a lot of golf videos online.
I
You
do.
like watching golf videos.
I'm a big fan.
Have you ever noticed that golf videos, every person in the comments says, picks apart everyone's swing and says why they're better? Have you noticed that Max Homa, his entire, for a year, had a shtick where he would roast people's swings? Has that registered at all? That no matter what you look like on that course, people would say, find something to pick you apart.
That's a fair point. That's a fair
That's literally-
counterpoint. That's fair.
There's 2 things people like in life: golf and telling everyone else their golf swing sucks. Those are the 2 biggest golf hobbies out there.
Okay, so it looks like Hank played on the 28th. He played on the 26th. I took a big break off. Played on the 21st. Played on the 19th. Played on the 17th.
Some of these are 9 holes though.
Oh, and the 16th.
Okay.
16th and 17th.
How many holes though?
Then the 7th.
Okay.
And the 6th. Those were the, it looks like you played 36 holes in San Diego.
Okay.
Not true.
And then you played with us in Houston. So you've had a busy month.
Nine rounds in April. That's pretty good.
Looks about right. Yeah.
That's a decent amount of golf, I would say. I'd say most people aren't playing 9 rounds in a month.
Some of those are 9 holes, so it's really probably 6 total. Whatever.
Yeah,
All I know is how
many times at the range?
A lot of times at the range. My vow and my promise to the AWLs is that I am going to put the work in,
But
so that I can live up to the expectations.
But
Thank
you
you,
do
Hank. Thank you.
realize
That's very big of you.
if I'm gonna have this narrative that all I do is golf, I might as well golf all the time.
Even
That's
if
how
you-
I feel.
Yep, you guys,
Even
good
if-
job, guys. You've done it. You talked Hank into playing more golf. I hope you're happy with yourselves.
you could shoot a 72 at Shinnecock like I did, and if it was on video, people would be like, "Wow, you suck. No way did you shoot a 72."
No, but the score stands for itself.
Right.
I got that handicap down. It's all right. The narrative started now. You guys have created this monster, and I'm gonna live it.
Do they kick you off the website if you put in fake scores?
I don't know how that works.
No.
I'm gonna become a scratch golfer by the end of the week. Okay. PFT.
All right, so my Fyre Fest of the week is something I'd forgotten about until just earlier today. It was a big Future Me thing, and things had been in limbo for a while as different things were being analyzed and okayed through higher ups. But I can say now I am going to be going up in an F-18
Yes.
next week.
Next week?
No, not next. No, it's in like
No,
2 weeks. It's in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's something that I really never had to actually think about doing until the final process was complete. So my physical came back. I'm built like a shit brick house. They're cool with it. The Navy's fine with it.
Obviously, dude.
So,
I could have told you that.
I'm going up in a Navy F-18, so I'm going to be hitting the simulator pretty hard over the next couple weeks and get my mind right, get prepared for it. So in case something happens to the pilot, I can take over the 6 and land.
Should we take another trip to the Empire State Building?
No. It's different. It's different. They were very clear. A crippling fear of heights is not an issue. If I had a fear of like enclosed spaces, if I was claustrophobic,
I
then
actually
that's an
agree.
issue.
I actually agree with that because the one time I went skydiving, you're so high up that it's not like heights because it doesn't seem real.
I would
Like it's scarier when you're skydiving. It's less scary to be jumping out of the plane than it is to be like 300 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I would shit myself if I went skydiving. I'm probably going to piss myself in the F-18. Probably. I'm probably going to puke. Probably going to
Piss
piss.
dogs, bro.
Piss dogs. The content will probably be funny watching me just get terrified up there.
Hell
What's
yes.
this for?
It's during a NASCAR race in Poconos.
Nice.
And there's an air show going on that week. Yeah, so they're sending me up. Like, how they
Where is
like,
the Poconos? It sounds like such a cool
Pennsylvania.
place.
yeah, South Pacific, I thought. But if you
It's a
go,
great name.
I actually had that same problem because it was like the Catskills and the Poconos kind of like they're kind of same. It feels like the same thing, but they're not.
yeah, and then there's the Finger Lakes.
Yep.
Urban Meyer's got a house there.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've been
but
on some races in the Finger Lakes.
yeah, I'm gonna be terrified basically nonstop for the next 3 weeks as I anticipate going up in this plane.
You got this.
But again, I will do some Ghost of Manhattan work and get back to work in the simulator because I've been forgetting to do that. I'm losing some of my training and yeah, I'm like,
You're not actually flying the plane, right? You're
Well, he might.
they might let me
He
fly.
might.
You never know. If there's a Chinese weather balloon up there, if it flies, it dies. I'm
Yep.
shooting that motherfucker down.
Yep. Facts.
I don't know if it's gonna have missiles on it. I'll bring my own. I'll bring
Yeah.
my own missile.
Yeah. Just right before, just make sure that they have some missiles on it. All right, Max, do you want to do a Fyre Fest? What, memes? Memes has a Fyre Fest?
Oh yeah, memes.
Oh no. Okay, memes. Memes doesn't want to be on camera. Uh-oh.
Pop squat.
Don't say that.
Uh-oh.
I will shit myself on the plane here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you text.
Yeah.
Almost.
Wait, you
Yeah.
texted.
What do you mean almost?
You texted the group and then you never followed up.
Yeah, it was a catastrophe. So get on the plane, sit down, take off.
Yes, we know how planes work.
Immediate pain in my stomach.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to shit at some point. I'll just hold it.
Aisle or window?
Aisle.
Okay.
2 hours into the flight,
You held it.
held it.
Why?
So I thought I
Built
could make
different.
it.
Built different.
Immediate pain.
Wait. You thought you could make it to just another toilet that's
Miami.
just as shitty?
Yeah.
You wanted to make it to a land-based toilet.
You
Yeah.
want to make it to an airport toilet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get boots on the ground.
And I was sitting one seat away from first class. All right, so one seat away from first class. They get all their food.
So close. You can taste it.
Immediate pain. I get paralyzed pretty much. I was like, this is about to all just come out. I run to the front of the plane.
Oh, no. They were like, get out of here.
Pretty much. The lady had the cart. She was like, can't go here. Got to go to the back. So I'm speed walking through the entire plane, looking around. Hank's passed out in the middle of the aisle.
Obviously.
I make it to the back. I was just panicking. I was like, where's the bathroom? She points right there. We go in. It's like a closet. It was just.
What's funny is like a lot of people are like, has memes ever been on a plane before?
Yeah.
And the reality is this is memes probably like fourth plane ride
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
And then I get done. I come out and there's just a massive line down the entire airplane.
Mm-hmm.
It was just brutal.
So,
So
wait,
you
but you shit
shit-
yourself before you got to the toilet.
Yeah, a little bit came out, and then I was just running through. Hank's passed out. It was just so funny. One kid smiled at me. I think he was AWOL, but like
AWOL.
AWL, Al,
Oh.
all.
Yeah. So wait, what'd you do with the underwear?
Oh, I threw it out. It's Captain America underwear.
Oh, no,
you
you
could have won
MVP.
MVP.
Yeah.
That's tough. You have great taste.
Fun. Also, if you're watching the YouTube, Max is wearing the puke shirt today. Just a little fun fact.
Max wears a puke shirt every day.
Like it's crazy.
I personally think Max needs to bring back the pants. For the
Yeah.
next game. If it's really you can't lose, you got to wear the pants.
James Harden would.
Yep.
One quick note about pass out. Obviously, I was passed out. I pass out every flight. And I think I've talked about this before, how sometimes I sleep talk and snore. I know that. People have told me that before, but no one ever tells me on a plane. And I was sitting next to this French kid. He was probably like, I don't know, 14, 17 range. And when we were landing, I woke up and he was giving me a look like some shit went on when I was
You popped
asleep.
a boner.
Like he was like,
Yeah, you know you popped
He
a
was
boner.
giving me like just a look of like, and I like wanted to ask him, but I also was like, if he's not going to say something, I'm not going to ask him.
You had a boner.
Yeah. Either that or you just made your standard mouth noises.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, or sleep talking.
he's probably going to go back to France and be like Americans. They all do this when they
Yeah.
sleep.
You had a boner next to a kid, 14-year-old French kid.
Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
know
their
the answer.
culture. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
actually completely
But
acceptable.
it was like I would describe it like the last scene of Inception when everyone wakes up and they're like looking at each other. That was me and this kid. Like he was giving me a look. I was giving him
damn.
a look.
Well, you might have just started the weird looks, knowing
No.
how you wake up.
Well, that's true.
You could have just got woken up and just started giving him a weird look, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Okay. My Fyre Fest also airport related. I was late to the airport. I was doing stuff on Wednesday, and so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna drive," which I don't know why I thought that would make it faster. Whatever. I was just going quickly. Park my car. I have no idea where it is. Never took a picture.
Oh, at the airport?
I just realized as we were talking about all the airport stuff that I have no idea where I
Yeah,
parked.
I text myself. If you
Yeah.
look at my history of text messages with myself, it's just a series of letters and numbers from various times I've parked.
I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. I always take a picture and I just didn't take a picture.
Did you park in the? I think I parked in a 24-hour lot, and I'm gonna have to pay like $500.
I didn't do
But
that.
I didn't have
don't
enough
think.
time, and it
No.
was like I was pulling in. I was like, I didn't have enough time to like. I was like, I think it's the wrong one, but I didn't have enough time to go find the right one.
Right.
You know what you do? You go back and you're
So
like,
I think I'm gonna leave on Sunday.
if you go back to the airport, you just tell them that you think your car was stolen. And then using their cameras, they'll be like, no, it wasn't stolen. Here's exactly where it is.
Yeah.
They'll be able to tell you.
Driving to the airport is stupid, but it also is the best because when you get off the plane, you're like, I don't have to try to find a taxi.
Wait for a cab.
Yeah.
Yep.
And actually, it with the Uber prices, actually is pretty much the same price. But yeah, I'm not going to find my car.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just take an Uber home and just let them like
They'll get it back to you
mail
eventually.
me someday. I mean, my lease is up soon, so maybe I just never
It's
go
not-
back.
It's not, yeah, just report it stolen.
It's like, you guys can go get it. It's somewhere at LaGuardia.
Yeah. There should be a AAA service that does that. There's probably a chip in your car. Do you have,
Give them the key and just be like, go and just press the button somewhere in LaGuardia.
do you have OnStar or anything?
No, none of that stuff.
It's tough.
It's all right. It's
Yep.
fine. It's fine.
You'll-
All right. So we are obviously on the road. Obviously, you got to watch F1 on Sunday. Root for Logan Sargent. Root for Williams Racing. We are going to FaceTime Jack McCarthy, who is Jack McGuire. Jack McGuire. Let me get Jack Mac. From the studio, he's going to do the lottery ball for us. He's in the office working Viva hours.
Did you see that you're allowed to bet on the actual draft lottery this year? You can bet on the ping pong balls. Hank, any hot tips?
Bulls.
I like that.
That would be sick.
I'm going Spurs.
All right, I got to screen record this too so that we can put it in the YouTube. Jack. All right.
Go to the studio.
Perfect. Hank, have you ever gotten this?
No.
All right, numbers. 17. You didn't say it.
99.
You paused.
How can you know that this is coming every single show that we
6.
ever record?
I gave you the.
No, you didn't.
I gave you
No,
the
you
time.
didn't.
Yeah, there
There was a time there.
It was a much bigger gap than usual.
Jack, you get to guess too.
Okay.
What do you want?
73.
73 memes.
1.
1 max.
You got
20.
2.
20. All right. So what's your guess, Hank? 6? Hank guessed 6. Were you in the other side of the office?
I was in the gambling cave, but I took a bad route.
Oh, okay. It might not be plugged in. Just make sure it's plugged in. Are there,
It's plugged in.
Are there-
Can I just press?
are there any numbers?
Flip
that
your
are-
camera. Flip your
Are
camera.
there any numbers outside right now?
I'm flipping.
He's flipping. Okay. Yeah, you're good to go. Press it.
This?
Yep. It might not be plugged in. The strip might be not on.
Oh, it's kind of out.
Okay.
It's actually much more difficult to work this machine
No.
than anybody would
Plug,
ever know.
push the plug in a little bit more. See that?
Oh, yeah.
The machine literally has two parts. It's a plug and a giant button.
We can cut this part. Okay. There we go. Keep it right on there. Yep. Oh, it looks like maybe a single digit. Nope. It is 62. 62.
Getting closer,
I
Hank.
All
almost
right.
said
Thank you,
26.
Jack. We
That would've been
appreciate
bad.
it.
Yep.
All right. See ya.
You didn't want to win that one anyways.
No, you
No.
didn't want to
On the road,
You didn't
asterisk.
want to win that one. That would have been funny.
That would've been
though, if you
bubble.
did. But you wouldn't have because it's the lottery machine. So
Right.
you'll never win it.
Right.
What if I get 17 before you?
What's the puku?
Yeah, we've had this conversation before. Same as the Lakers Sixers finals.
I don't know which I'd rather have.
Well, you're not going to get one of them.
Yeah. One of them actually could happen. Okay. See everyone Monday. We got an awesome interview with Michael Davies. He is executive producer of Jeopardy Masters. He also is the executive producer of Barstool Van Talk. So we had some awesome flashback. What was your perspective from the whole thing? And also he's got a British accent, so he's cool.
Old friend.
Yes.
Love you guys. Hank, good luck golfing.
Animal fact, Hank has golfed more than any other animal on Earth in the last month and a half. Fact.